What's going on, everybody? We are back.
Here we go.
We are back. Yesterday, we were live at Bookies for day one, first round, and we are back for day two, rounds 2 and 3. Be live at 7 o'clock, and we'll be live streaming fellas throughout the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be here. They trade back. We'll still be here. But, boys, we were talking earlier. We got a chance to go out, catch up.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't taken a nap yet. I'm still running on some adrenaline. I feel good, though. And I'm ready to get
naps are for the week, Jeff. Naps are for the week. We're locked in here.
No.
Do you think Brad Holmes is taking a nap anytime soon?
No, it's not.
Nope, he's not. Brad Holmes isn't. Dan Campbell's not. Terrion Arnold probably didn't get a nap in today either. We're not napping today. We've got players to get. We've got people to meet. We've got Super Bowls to win, brother. Here we go.
I love
it. Dude, it's, you know what, Boone? You're right. Naps are for the week right now.
I'm sorry over here. I'm working over here. I'm trying to get the draft up on my other computer.
What
Good, Boone. Do whatever you need to do. Lock in.
Yes, we'll be going through live reacting to every single draft pick. I have all the stuff up so I can see it. I'll have the draft up. We obviously can't play the draft, but this is our watch along. So if you're tuning in, welcome to the show. I can't wait. We'll be live tomorrow as well. So, hey, if knowing Brad Holmes, he trades up pretty often, and if he finds his guy, he's going to go get his guy.
We're live for the next 4 hours, baby. Let's have a night. Klotz, how are we feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great, Boone. I'm going to be ordering a pizza here, so a little bit. I'll have to take a little intermission to go run it. But if we're doing this 4-hour stream, fellas, I just got home mere 3 hours ago, and I took a nice little nap. Call me weak, Booner, but it needed to happen. I was tired. I was burnt out. Had to hit the reset button.
You're not, I get it. Brad Holmes probably looking down on you a little bit, but he probably still loves you.
Hey, that's fair. But I was going to war for Brad Holmes.
You can see my whole screen here through my glasses. I don't know if it's a good idea I keep this on.
No, hey, it's the mood. I mean, why wouldn't you keep it on?
See everything. If people wanted to see who I'm talking to, you can see that. It could be a disaster.
Again, appreciate all the people showing support on yesterday's stream. We met a lot of Crunch Time supporters out there at Bookies and around Detroit. So much love to you guys. I know a lot of people are still probably down there going to attend the second day of the event. And just for the people in the chat, welcome. Thank you for joining. We got, I want to bring up this Canton Phil, 75. He says, great time last night. Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you.
Shout out Canton Phil, man.
Yes, absolutely. We got
awesome to meet.
Steve Wilds saying Booner the Hitman Hart. We got, and the glasses kind of do give those vibes a little bit.
Wait, what is that? I don't know if that can someone break that down for me. Shout out to Steve Wilds, by the way.
Yeah, you're like kind of giving Macho Man a little bit with those glasses.
Okay. You guys can literally see all three of my screens. I don't know if I can do it.
No,
this
you can see the setup.
This is actually a problem. You guys can see my whole house.
Hey, it's just motivation to get a studio, fellas.
Well, you guys see this? There's this screen right here that's just absolutely blank. With screen here with me on it, and then there's this screen here that's gonna have the draft on it.
Well, I'll ask you guys before the draft starts, maybe some early expectations. All right, how do you see it playing out? What's up, Micro Mike, as well? Shout out to Mike.
Shout out Micro Mike, man.
How do you guys, what's an ideal, not necessarily, Brad Holmes is going to have his own strategy, but what's like an ideal scenario to you? Something that maybe you partially think will happen, but also partially you want to happen. And feel free to chime into the chat.
Klotz, you want to go first on this, or you want me to hit it?
Yeah, no, I can take it. I think just take the exact same philosophy and from that first round into the second, because I think there's going to be a very similar situation. I think we talked about earlier this morning around like 8 a.m., that there's going to be a lot of offensive linemen. You talk about the Zach Fraziers, Jackson Powers-Johnson, Cooper Beebe's, those type of players. The wide receivers. Then you look at the run that could go on cornerbacks. The Lions really don't need to go get a cornerback, so stay patient. And I think if guys like Jonah Ellis, Adisa Isaac, I don't think you'd have to move up for Mohamed Kamara, but if they like a guy, doesn't even have to be on the defensive edge. I prefer it to be, but even like a Chris Jenkins, I think go up, get aggressive, and double up on the defensive line either now and then go back later in the draft or address it now. But I do think it has to be D-line here in the second round.
Yeah, you know what? And this is it. Klotzy, I'm going to say this. I'm going to stick with this like I talked about all day. I don't think picking a position does it any justice, and I'm not going to pick a position. What I'm going to say, though, is going to happen tonight. I talked to Jeff earlier about this as well. Brad Holmes, look at last year. What did he do? He traded up to go get Brian Branch. He traded up to go get Hendon Hooker. He traded up to go get Broderick Martin. I truly believe that Brad Holmes, he would rather pick in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round than sit there and pick in 5th, 6th, 7th round. And he has a lot of those picks at the back end of the draft. That's majority of them. He has a lot of extra picks next year in rounds. What was it yesterday? What's the picks? We can bring that up here at some point today.
I will.
I'll
go through it when you're ready.
But I think it's like two fourths, maybe a 3rd, 5th, 6th. Like he has everything next year. I think he's going to start making moves. We have always wondered, hey, how does Brad end up getting the capital? He's going to find a way to get back in. I told Jeff, I think there's a chance we might see him move up from 61. You might even see him move into the 3rd, move into the 2nd again here tonight. I think that we're going to leave tonight. I know it's only 2 rounds. I think we might leave tonight with two or three players on this roster here. Added to this roster. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, for me at least, I get Brad Holmes' philosophy, best player available, which there are some really good players available, certainly. But for me, we'll go through in a second, and I'll show you guys, and I'll kind of walk through the best players available because there are some really good players, especially in positions that the Lions do need. So I think it kind of checks that box where it's best player available, and they also play the position that you do need. But for me, you're picking at 61. You're in an interesting position where you could trade back, recoup a little bit of capital, or like Booner said, use some of that future capital you have, trade up or trade back into the 2nd or 3rd round. So all options are on the table. This is kind of the situation I like that Brad Holmes is in. I trust this man to get the job done. For me, though, with the offensive line kind of lacking depth, which is a common thing in the NFL, you need depth at offensive line, especially when you have some older guys. I think that's also a concern, and some guys that you don't really know the future, what the future holds for those guys. So for me, ideally, 61, you either trade up and you get a maybe best available offensive lineman, or you stay put and address it as well. So that's kind of my preferred way to go here. There's some wide receivers. They don't pick for another 100 picks. So I assume that Brad isn't just going to stay put at 61, similar to what we talked about at 29. I don't think he stays put. I think he either moves up, moves back, and collects more draft capital. But there's some guys on the board, and we'll get to it in a second. That's my ideal scenario there. But let me walk you through this, Booner, because we do have some dudes still on the board here, and some guys that we talked about that were supposed to be first-round picks, or at least mocked to be first-round picks, or talked about being first-round picks. And I'll go through them now. I mean, you have Cooper DeJean. That's the obvious one. Cooper DeJean's still on the board. Yep. So he's probably going to go pretty quickly, I would assume. But even outside of Cooper DeJean, Jerzon Newton, my guy,
big name.
Adonai Mitchell is still there. Ladd McConkey, Ennis Rakestraw Jr., Keon Coleman. You got Braden Fisk, Marshawn Kneeland, there's Jonathan Brooks, who there will be a team that will take a running back probably this round or not 3rd round. Junior Colson, Kamari Lassiter, TJ Tampa, Chris Jenkins. There's some guys here. Max Melton is still there.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you fellas this morning. Any chance at all you think Brad double dips at corner?
No. To be honest.
Even if like the borderlines with BPA, I'm just curious, just because again, you can just wrap up that cornerback spot for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. If I'm being honest, I think and I know I say Brad just goes BPA. I just think there's going to be better players. Like Max Melton might be a guy that might be best player available at the time. I just look at the board that it's happening. When you get to 61, there's so many wide receivers on this board. There's so many there's edges here, like Adisa Isaac potentially could be there. There's offensive linemen. There's just so many different. So many guys have fallen. I don't think that he's going to say, "Hey, let's go another corner here." That's just where I'm at with it. I want him to get someone else. I honestly, Jeff, if I'm looking at it too, there's just so many wide receivers left if you're just breaking it down here, and I don't think they're all going to go before 61. If I'm
right,
you know what I mean. And let's just look at the wide receivers. Adonai Mitchell, who most likely to me probably goes right away to the Bills, but then you have Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman, Jalen Polk, Jalen McMillan, Troy Franklin, Brendan Rice, Roman, Javon Banker, Devontae Walker, Malachi Corley, Johnny Wilson. Like there is a lot of dudes. Luke McCaffrey, a lot of people like him. Jermaine Burton, Anthony Gold. There's a lot of dudes here. that you could say that Brad is going to look at in this second, third round and trade for. I think you end up seeing the Lions tonight get a wide receiver. If I had to pick, if it was like Booner, pick a position, stop talking about BPA, give us something to talk about here, I would say he is going to get one of these wide receivers that are still on the board because there is a long list of them still.
Yeah, and I get the argument for wide receiver. There's some good players. I mean, to your point, still on the board. Even with the Ricky Pearsall selection, there still are talented wide receivers. And Polk, who we've talked about a lot, is still there as well. That's where I was prior when we first started doing these mock drafts. For me, it was always, corner in the first, edge in the second, and then you take a wide receiver in the third. That was kind of my ideal first 3 rounds. Now it's a little different. You don't have you really don't have your 2 third-round picks. You traded those away to acquire some pretty good players. You just have that second. That's why my gut feeling is he gets more capital. But if let's say he doesn't, and you're at 61, I mean, looking at this board, there will be a wide receiver that is a pretty good player. I mean, you go to the wideouts. Like I said, I already went through AD, Lad McConkey, Keon Coleman, Polk. Troy Franklin is still here. Brendan Rice, Roman Wilson.
The Roman Wilson one intrigues me, and it's not because I'm a Michigan guy. It's they've met with him a lot, and I think if he starts falling a little bit to the 40s, 50s, and you see him sitting there in the 50s still, I just feel like that's a guy where they've met with. We talk about football players. We talk about dudes who just want to work and just win and go out there and just who cares about anything else, that mentality. That's a guy to me. And again, this is sometimes when it sucks to be a Michigan fan and showed as that, because I truly, if he wasn't even a Michigan guy, I think that would be a good Lion, a very good Detroit Lion. So that's an interesting one to me if he starts falling. The Jalen Polk, you guys know, hey, if Jalen Polk,
sorry about that, fellas.
If Jalen Polk gets going, I mean, man, if he's in the Detroit, that's beautiful. That would make my night, I think, guys. You guys know how I feel about Jalen Polk.
Yeah, I think with new information, I'm allowed to change my opinion. And I think with the offensive linemen still, on the board, some pretty good ones, by the way. That's kind of my preferred position to address. And preferably he trades back into the second or third round, and maybe you could take a wide receiver as well. I just don't know at edge. And you're a fan more, Lukas, of the guys that are still here. I mean, Adisa Isaac is someone I would be okay with. But if he's already gone, I'm pretty set on my preference being offensive lineman. I just think with Kevin Zeitler, I know they got Colby Sorsdahl, but still, I'm not in love with the depth there, and that's what makes this team go on offense. We always use the cog in the engine. That offensive line is certainly the cog in the engine for the offense.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about that. I'd have to see what the board looks like when they pick, because I do think that another position that there's going to be a lot of in the second round, especially where the Lions were to pick if they're at 61, is linebacker. And if there's not a lot of linebackers taken, I can easily see Brad Holmes taking a linebacker to shore up that run defense for the future, because that's the cog in the engine of the defensive side of the ball. And with DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, you don't know how long they're going to be in town for, especially if Aleem doesn't re-sign. So when you talk about stopping the run on the interior, if it's not your defensive tackle, it's your linebackers. So guys like Edrin Cooper, I'd watch out for. Peyton Wilson, there's a couple of them. But linebackers, same thing with safety. We talked about Cam Kitchens earlier today, Jeff. If he's sitting there, I wouldn't be mad if you maybe trade back, get more value, and then take Cam Kitchens. But, yeah, I think there's no really wrong answer outside of quarterback, tight end, or running back, in my opinion.
Well, it's 7 o'clock. The draft is going to start.
Things are getting rolling, boys.
Here we go. It's
the Bills on the clock.
It's like Brad Holmes holiday weekend. Like, whenever the draft begins, all 3 days, this is what we tune in for. Who the Lions select, but specifically who Brad Holmes, who's his next victim, potentially. Who will he fleece?
Do you guys think that the Packers would have took Terry on 25th overall?
Potentially, yes.
Gotcha.
Potentially.
I
don't think it's like out of. I think Terrion's just a different level. Like, he's that much better. The fact that we got Terrion at 24, I think one is shocking on its own. He should have been a top 15 pick if this whole offensive thing didn't happen yesterday. But outside of that, all these other Cooper DeJean fell. All these other guys dropped out. Like it's clear that Terrion and Quinyon Mitchell were night and day better than all these other corners. So I think there's a chance that if the Green Bay, we know what their secondary is, that they wanted to sit there and take an offensive lineman, and they would have still done that. But I think there's a good chance that they actually still do and say, hey, we'll take Terrion if he falls to 25 to us, one of the best players in the entire draft. So I wouldn't be shocked if they would have done that.
Yeah, and really what's interesting is in the biggest storyline, I guess, and what I've been getting the most notifications about, I don't know what you've heard, Booner, is the Bills getting a ton of offers for that first pick in the second round, and they traded with Kansas City. Notably, the last time they did, Kansas City drafted a guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes. So, I'm curious. They got the first pick in the second round. They need a wide receiver, and I think that pick right there, a lot of teams are interested in because of the value of the players there. But even then, you have the Patriots next. I think the first two picks could be wide receiver.
I agree.
That's where I'm leaning towards. If they stay put, of course.
This is the thing, too. Ian Rappaport was breaking this down this morning, talking about how typically the 33rd pick is always so wanted, and there's all these trade. Every year, people are asking to trade for it because you know now who dropped. You see all these first-round talents that fell to 33, and he brought up a good point that it usually gets shopped like insane fashion, but then it never actually gets traded. And whoever it is at 33 typically stays because they just know, like, you get a whole night to sit there and say, who's our guy? And you have almost 24 hours to, fall in love with the guy, whether it's Lad McConkey or it's, A.D. Mitchell. I don't know why I messed that up, but if they're like, whoever
you
it
had
is,
it right, Boone, you had it right.
Adonai Mitchell, yeah, or Keon Coleman. Like, I'm sure the Bills sat there and they just met all night. They woke up this morning, they had their meetings, and I'm sure they fell in love with the guy. And then to Ian Rappaport's to that point, he's not wrong. I don't know, maybe I don't know when the last time the 33rd pick got traded, but once you sit there and you see the board the way it falls, and you're sitting at 33, you might as well do it.
I'm watching the draft right now, and it's crazy. I mean, you see all the people that are there still. I mean, these people, it's wild. It is absolutely wild. It's really just as packed as it was yesterday. I never know with that kind of stuff. If the first round and then going into the second day, there has to be still hundreds of thousands of people down there. Like, it's wild. I saw somewhere, and I think it was Mark Ryan, who works for 97.1, that someone told him that Detroit didn't I got to read the exact quote here. I'll get the quote because when I read it, I'm like, what is this person talking about? But it was something about the city of Detroit not handling the draft well or something like that. Let me see. It was someone that he knew, or at least he said that someone said. He didn't name who it was. Essentially, they said a media member from another city said the city of Detroit was nowhere near ready to host the draft.
I think that's a lie. I've heard everything.
We were down there. It was fine.
I've heard nothing but good things. Everyone's saying that what's happened so far in Detroit, the way that the hosting and the people that showed up, that it's setting up for the city of Detroit to start getting more events and bigger events. Like, this was like, I wouldn't say like a testing thing because we've had events, but this was like, hey, Detroit is back here. The city is blossomed and people want to start coming here. And today I heard someone comment and say that this could set up for the city of Detroit to start getting more big time events coming here, not just the NFL draft. Maybe we'll get a Super Bowl again here coming up soon. We have a Final Four in a couple of years.
No, it's true. Because like we were down there, everybody was fine. There was nobody who was acting a fool of themselves. To Doc's point, I mean, there's people smoking down there, but it wasn't egregious. I thought everything was chill.
Yeah, the Doc was he would not approve. The sticky
that stinky dinky or whatever he called it.
Yeah, what do you say? The sticky icky? It wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, it was definitely plenty of it down there. But yeah, people. I mean, we walked down there. I mean, it seemed like they handled it well. We were there at least in the beginning of the day, so it wasn't nowhere near as packed as it was. I guess when we were doing the show, so I can't speak on when the actual draft was starting. But yeah, Detroit, I think, has been doing a good job. The amount of walking we've had to do and all the work that was put in to make it look the way it did, I think they did fine. So yeah,
looks beautiful. It looked beautiful.
Just unnecessary bitching. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people like that who just want to always come at Detroit. I think if you came there and you experienced it, you know that it was a great event that they're putting on this weekend. Unbelievable event.
Yeah, Dark Flame just put it in there. 230K people tonight. Yep, see?
Wow.
I mean, it looks like it. If you see it on TV, it looks like that number. Coach Walk, the city did an awesome job with the draft. They had to close off the entryway at 6:30, but I heard they opened it back up. Yeah. We got all those notifications. We got the NFL One app, or the I believe it's the One Pass, whatever it is.
One Pass.
Yeah, NFL One Pass. Yeah, we got the notification while we were at Bookies. It was like, yeah, no more people are allowed in. It's like, all right, shit. Well, they filled up. Well, Roger Goodell speaking.
I see Tiki Barber, by the way. I see
but
Tiki Barber. I think it's Tiki Barber.
You better boo the hell out of it.
It might be Tiki out there too.
It was one of the two. I don't know. I was a Barber fan.
Well, Ed,
about my haircut. Hey.
Ed O'Neill asked if you had to pick between Newton or JPJ, who's the pick?
JPJ. I would go JPJ. You have DJ Reader. Like you have guys in the defensive line now. Lee McNeil. I just think with JPJ, Jeff, think about the Frank Ragnow thing. Like the Frank Ragnow thing. There's rumors saying that he could be done after this year. Even if he's not, you have Graham Glasgow, who's on a 3-year deal. You have Kevin Zeitler, who's on a 1-year deal. You can get a guy like JPJ, who was at some points a top 20 prospect, and you can bring him in the second, get him into the second round, and he can end up kind of keep it. You have to keep this offensive line young at some point. At some point, there's going to have to be some turnaround and have to be some change if you want to be consistent with the players that you have and these young guys you have. So, hey, by the way, Klotz, can I get a clap real quick? Give me a clap real quick.
Yeah, no, it ain't happening.
Give me a clap.
That's the enemy, Boone.
The national championship trophy has made its way. Sharon Moore, the whole Michigan football team has made its way to the NFL draft in the stage here, man.
Real quick, Dante 151, thank you for the $5. Says, hey guys, I'm watching you while watching a lacrosse game and keeping an eye on the draft. Let's go.
Let's go, Dante.
Appreciate you, Dante.
You guys are watching us, and tell some people to turn the stream on. Tell them to come tune in with us over here, man.
Absolutely. Matthew Evans just became a member for 3 months. Matthew, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. He says, go get Keon Coleman. He's still available.
Keon is. Yeah, I think he might be gone.
Still out on those streets. Still out there, Klotzy.
You'd have to move up for sure.
So is Kool-Aid McKinstry, Hefe. Where do you think he falls?
Okay, well, the pressure's on me. I'll just I'll tell you real quick. No, I'm kidding.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like a couple times, brother. What the fuck?
Okay, well the pressure's on me now, Klotzy. I'll just I'll tell you this, okay? I'll tell you this right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Raiders pick at 44.
Okay.
I don't see him falling past that. I don't see.
I could see the Patriots or Bills even taking him.
Exactly. I think there's, and we talked about that on the stream too. Bills need a lot. I would assume they go wide receiver, but there's teams after the Bills I think would need a corner too, and then the Raiders do. So he won't make it past 44, in my opinion. So we shall see there. But I mean, there's still other guys here too. I mean, Ennis Rakestraw, who was projected to go to the Lions. Remember that? I mean, he's still available in the first round.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, he's here.
Get him out of there.
So I want to ask you guys this, since we're not really watching the draft together at one spot again. Do you guys want my updates tonight? If I get any messages or alerts, what do you guys want me to do with that tonight? I want the people to know as well. Do you guys want me to announce the picks here as I get them coming in?
Yeah, let the people decide, because I don't care now that it's not, because the first round's a little different.
We're not going to get their reaction because we're all not together here tonight, and it's going to be a little different than being on a live show together at a bar to where we're watching the same TV, same reactions. I can announce the picks here as they come in, and I know people watching at home may be a little behind, but if you guys are
we're delayed anyway, so
yeah, we are delayed anyways, because typically we see you guys post. You guys get mad at me for giving it out. The people in the chat, I'm a man of the people, but the people in the chat do throw the pick out there way before we ever get to know what it is. Sometimes we have to shut the chat down for a little bit on our end and close it out on our computer.
Well, now to me it doesn't matter. The chat, do whatever.
Someone, ordinary U of M dad said, "Feed us, Papa Booner." I can start giving picks out if you guys want over here.
All right, we'll do that.
Everyone's saying yes. Announce the picks, unlike last night where you just screamed and didn't give the picks. Okay, I'll announce the picks. The reason we did that was because we can't announce the picks when I get the picks in, or if I get any kind of idea from some people. I can't do that because we're in a full bar of people who are watching the draft. We can't give it away.
Yeah, well, we did go through every pick though, like that. I mean, so I guess I get what he's saying, but we did name a pick. I mean, we have to name it to break it down. So but I get it. We'll go through and you can tell us when you hear anything.
Here we go, baby.
I'm not too picky with it. I just saw on the TV they just said they put up Adisa Isaacs.
Well, if you guys want, I got a pick if you want it. 33rd overall pick. You guys want the pick?
Let me guess. Wide receiver.
You are correct. Are you ready for it? With the 33rd overall pick. Do you have the button? Do you have the sound?
I do. Great.
I'll say with the 33rd overall pick.
Hold on. All right, ready?
With the 33rd overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, Buffalo Bills select Keon Coleman, wide receiver out of Florida.
Wow.
Yes.
Great. Wow.
Yes. They are drafting Keon Coleman. That's wow. I think what was happening, Jeff, if you want to be honest, I think last night they probably their war room, and they're sitting there and they're going, do we want a Donnie Mitchell or do we want Keon Coleman? I think those were the two best guys left on the board when it comes to needing a weapon, and they knew they needed a weapon. They might have known this whole time we're going to get one of the two, and we're very okay with getting Keon Coleman. They traded that 29th pick to the Chiefs that they wanted Keon, and when they started making all these trades the last couple of days, I think what did they trade from 29 back to 32 and 32 back to 33? I think, or whatever. I don't know what it was, whatever it was, or 28 to 32 and whatever it was. I think they knew, hey, we want Keon Coleman. Like, that's our guy. If we can keep moving back and still get him and add this capital, we're going to do that. And I think it worked out perfect for them. I think that's a great weapon for them, honestly. They needed a weapon, and I think that's like the perfect weapon for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get Klotz back in here to help us break it down because I think he would agree. I mean, the guy's just a playmaker. He's just a playmaker. I mean, we watched him. He absolutely crushed the gauntlet drill, and that's something if you pay attention to certain wide receivers, especially guys that fall, when receivers that just absolutely destroy that drill in a good way, usually it works out for him. That's a good way to test certain guys, and Keon just gifted.
And
so,
it's not the comparison, it's not a player comparison, but they compared it like doing that gauntlet drill. Puka Nacua had the best one last year.
There's
he
a good
obviously
example.
Went really late, and I think he dropped it. It might have been because of his 40 time. I'm not 100% sure, or just who he was. Not very as well known, but it's that example. That's a drill that can show a little bit of what you can do in space and kind of running. So
the 40 stuff, I think, with certain guys is a little overrated. Depends what kind of. It depends on the position, and also if you're wide receiver, how do you play? Like, do you play faster than you run 40s, or like for Keon's sake, he's not just a burner. Like he's you watch him at Florida State, dude was open a lot, not just running routes and short and intermediate. Like I'm talking, he's open by probably a yard or two.
Yeah.
Deep. So he's burning collegiate corners. So I think the 40 thing was a little overrated. I think he's going to be fine in Buffalo. I mean, it's cold out there. You get a big physical wide receiver who can take the top off and just make plays. I mean, he had that one hand catch at Florida State last year. Is ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you remember? I think that was the same game. I think he might have had like 3 touchdown catches in one game.
Yeah.
He can go get a ball. I think as his career goes on too, he's just going to get more and more polished. There obviously are things. The reason he wasn't up there with those other guys in the first round is there are some things he probably needs to polish up, kind of work on. But once you get to that level, you got to think, guys, he's going to be playing with Josh Allen, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
And so he's not afraid to sling it. You know, he's not afraid of turning the ball. He's going to
have all the opportunities in the world to go out there and make plays and do that. So I have no worries here with Keon.
What do you think about Keon to the Bills?
Is that who it was? I'm a little bit behind. I was trying to fix it. So it was Keon?
Yep.
Keon Coleman, baby.
I mean, it's a good pick for him. He's going to be able to stretch the field. If I was a Bill personally, I think Josh Allen needs a guy that can consistently be open through all 3 levels of the field just because I don't think there's a wide receiver one there. I would have went probably Lad McConkey or A.D. Mitchell, but I'm not mad at Keon.
Yeah, I was saying too while you were gone, Klotz. Yeah, I think they realized they knew they needed a weapon, and they even when they were sitting at 28, they were like, hey, we like Keon. Let's start moving back, and he's going to be there. So I feel like it was something decided way before.
Mm-hmm.
So according to ESPN, I mean, you talk Keon Coleman, he was their seventh highest rated player left, not at wide receiver, just player. Ahead of him, according to ESPN, Ennis Rakestraw, Ladd McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, Kool-Aid McKinstry, DeJean, Newton, and Cooper DeJean. So still, they're still Cooper DeJean's on the board here. And there's still some pretty good football players. We said it. I said I think the Bills and Patriots both go wide receiver. This is a great pick for Buffalo. I think it'll be back-to-back wide receivers. I think the Patriots should take one right here. You just took your future franchise quarterback. That wide receiver room is slim. So
what's crazy too
here, you should be A.D. Mitchell here. I personally.
Yeah, I would agree. It's got to be one of those guys that can play through all three levels. Just because, like I said with Keon's a guy where it's not that he's bad, but I could also see him kind of being more strictly a deep threat over the course of his career in New England, especially with a Drake May who's got to develop and find a security weapon and a security blanket. I think you got to go get a guy that can run through all three levels. Personally, compared to and it's not a shot Booner, but if they were to take a Jalen Polk here, I'd be like, I mean, it's not a bad player, but I think you could have traded back and you could have got a guy that could have went through all three levels.
Maybe the Patriots say, you know what? We had some success with these slot wide receivers.
Maybe they go
it's the Chargers on the clock now.
They traded
Chargers on the clock now.
Yeah.
Let me see what I got here.
So I wonder.
Yeah, they're trading the
Chargers
33rd overall pick. The Chargers are on the clock here. So let me see then. The Chargers are trading up from 5. Or from 37, sorry, the 5th pick of the second round. They're trading up from 37, it looks like. Is my guess. Because they have
Mikey,
the 37th pick.
Sainristil.
It might be a Mikey.
Jumping Arizona
you know what?
To get Mikey.
I'm interested.
They're jumping Arizona to get Mikey.
Actually, Klotz, I might disagree with
you.
I think they might go wide receiver here. They talked about not getting a weapon at number 5. They went Joe Alt. I think you see them get a Donnie Mitchell or Ladd McConkey. I think that one of those two is the pick.
Okay.
Because they
They
desperately need a weapon.
If you're going receiver, I think a great fit with the Chargers is Ladd McConkey. I think he'd be a great fit because they have Quentin Johnston.
What if it's Roman here?
Roman, I think would be that you could go him as well.
The trade is
Ladd McConkey would be a great pick.
Patriots are giving up 34 and 137, and the Chargers are trading 37 and 110. I have the pick, Jeff. If you want to hit the button, I can play it for the people here. I can give you guys the pick.
You have the pick?
Yep. You play the sound if you want here. With the 34th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, fellas, the Los Angeles Chargers are selecting wide receiver Ladd McConkey out of Georgia.
Yeah, it's a great pick.
Nice.
I think that's great.
Great pick. What they lose? Keenan Allen, route running. Now you get Keenan. Now you get Ladd McConkey, just a supreme route runner. He's gonna be Justin Herbert's favorite target. Absolutely.
You know what? So many people too yesterday were kind of questioning the Joe Alt pick, and hey, you had a chance to get Malik Neighbors, Roma Dunze. You had a chance to add an elite wide receiver, and they didn't do it. They went Joe Alt, and I think they still got to do that. We had this guy at some points in our first rounds. When we do mock drafts, he's a guy that could have been at the end of the first round. Should we not do it?
People are
like,
no, and we got ETN. So we no more announcements.
All right, everyone said let's do it that way.
Coach Walk is a big investor, so we got to respect his word.
No, I get it because you want to.
The thing is for us though. The thing is for us is people just start throwing it in the chat and we don't even get to what what I mean.
Let them do it.
So if you're
leave it to them.
Right.
Yeah, let them do it. Yeah, no, let them do it. Because I think more importantly, it's just about breaking down the picks. When it doesn't matter who it is. Even if we don't catch them all at the same time, when the people get it, that's when we know it's our cue. We can go and do it. I think Ladd McConkey.
I think we just read the picks out. I mean. Pauses for a little bit until we catch up. I don't know. I'm a man of the people, but
but again, if I'm watching our stream and I'm watching TV and I'd rather watch the TV experience, I'll just log us off. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna get spoiled, you get what I'm saying? Like there's that too. I don't want to make it that type of thing for people either. If they don't, if people prefer not to be read, then hey, we won't read it. But. It's all good. Ladd McConkey, kind of go back to it because next the Arizona Cardinals select they pick.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. I mean, he's the route running. It's insane. Lad McConkey, he's going to be, that's a guy that I think Herbert, he's not, again, Keenan Allen's hard to replace, came off a career season, but he's going to be solid for him. I mean, they probably double.
Sure.
If I were them, you probably double up at wide receiver in the draft, but he's a good start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder what their belief is in Quentin Johnston, too. Because if you look at what they have with Ladd, he's going to be an intermediate guy, and then the other two wide receivers they have are Quentin and Josh Palmer, who are deep guys. And I agree with you, Jeff. They probably are going to add into the draft. If they don't, they'll probably go get like a Tyler Boyd or somebody out there in free agency. But I think Justin Herbert's one of those quarterbacks where this is probably going to be the worst wide receiver core he has in his career that he's going to have going into this season. So if he finds a way to be effective with these guys, I think Jim, he's going to run the ball regardless, but Ladd coming off play action, it's going to be a solid receiving core.
Yeah, and you're seeing it now. I mean, you're just watching Lad McConkey's tape. I mean, they're playing his highlights. The guy's just a gadget. He is just like running around. He's making plays all over, just routing up SEC corners, like getting separation by 5 yards, juking people out. Like he's
a steal.
Yeah, he is.
I think this is a steal.
He's great.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the Cardinals do here? They're
Arizona on the clock.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I think this is Kool-Aid or Mikey. Kool-Aid or Mikey.
Secondary.
Yeah.
Another trade here. The Falcons are on the clock.
Well.
The Falcons just traded up. So we've got a lot of trade. We're going to have a lot of trades tonight, fellas. Falcons are on the clock here. Sorry. Yeah, I think they're going to move up from 43 up to 35 is my guess. Moving up 8 picks.
Let me guess this one. Okay, they move up. Falcons. They're eyeing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons could go corner, maybe. Cooper DeJean. Hear me out.
Maybe.
But I think
defense.
They didn't go. I think there was a report that they tried to trade back into the first and take. I think it was Latu. They tried to get. So maybe edge. Maybe some edge could
maybe
be
Jerzon Newton.
Jerzon. Actually, you know what?
Actually, that's a big one.
I think that actually might be the pick right there.
I think
I saw a tweet here that someone said it can only be for Spencer Rattler. After they just love drafting quarterbacks.
Could you imagine?
Oh, dude, that would be so funny.
You see the report that the Giants are interested in Spencer Rattler as like a late pick.
I mean, that's a team that missed out.
Should be.
Raiders missed out on a quarterback too. They should be looking at Spencer Rattler. There's certain guys that or teams that like probably we all thought were going to get a quarterback and they ended up not getting one.
Damn, Jerzon Newton's mad as fuck. They just want the draft room.
Let me know when you guys want me to announce. I have the pick.
Pleased.
I have the pick. Just let me know. We'll wait. I don't know how long we want to wait, but when the people start saying Booner, tell me. We'll tell them.
All right.
I think this has to be Jerzon. It's just I'm trying to like make sense of it. It has to be. They don't have much of a pass rush.
What if they go wide receiver?
Yeah, I mean
Drake London.
They gotta go defense. I mean, you gotta go on you gotta trust the defense. Gotta get the pass rush going here. And the best pass rusher on the board is you know who? Johnny Newton. Unless you maybe take an edge. But no, I think Johnny Newton's the pick. I don't know. I'm clocking that one in.
Yeah. I don't think you trade up for an edge here, but again, people could be seeing the board differently. But I don't know. We'll see.
It's got to be Johnny then. It's got to be Johnny then. All right. Well, oh gosh, they're about to announce it, and then Booner, you can just say it.
I mean, yeah, we could just talk about it when they announce it. I'm not going to announce it if everyone's listening to the announcement. But it's a shocking one. I'm going to tell you guys that it is shocking.
Yeah, I got to turn off the chat.
So it is shocking.
God. Did they find a way to fumble this more? Everybody's saying that. Andre Rison, shout out, underrated wide receiver.
Is it really?
Atlanta might be. The GM's going to get fired in a year.
Are you serious?
The GM will get fired.
Now I'm like, it's got to be DeJean Newton. There's no way you don't take the best pat. You got DeJean Newton right there.
No way. No way. I mean, have you seen it, Jeff?
No. Who is it?
It's Ruke Orhorhoro, however you spell the defensive interior guy from Clemson. So they got the interior defensive
traded up,
but again, DeJean Newton continues to fall. That's pretty wild. That is
traded
wild.
up for him
Actually,
too. They went up to get him.
I don't.
Yeah, but again, like Jeff's point, maybe that there's he's higher on NFL GMs more than other guys. But again, this is the same GM who just took Michael Penix 8th overall when they re-signed Kirk Cousins or signed Kirk Cousins to a $100 million deal.
That's why
I don't know.
They might be having the word. I don't know. I guess I don't know. DeJean Newton.
I actually don't mind
DeJean Newton.
I don't mind. I don't like him over Johnny Newton though. But that's like if you're taking a position, maybe they like him higher, and maybe they're worried about Johnny Newton. If there's an injury, I haven't read too much into what he's dealing with. I know he had some sort of injury. I don't know the exact injury, but if they think Ruke is better and he's healthy and he has a higher ceiling, then I don't hate it. I thought it was going to be something wild, like a freaking.
So I thought it was going to be like quarterback or I didn't know, running back.
Actually go Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. Michael Pratt. Michael Pratt goes off the board, Jeff.
He's taking that job. Michael Pratt.
Commanders are another interesting one. This could be Kool-Aid right here, Jeff, because their secondary was right up there with the Lions for worst in the league. This could be Cooper DeJean as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I think Cooper.
They just lost
real quick.
Thank God.
Real quick, fellas.
Go Lions.
So the trade that went through was so basically Atlanta traded back. Whoever traded, I think it was Arizona, whoever it was, traded back to 43. So moved back, 8 spots, and they got a 3rd round pick. They got number 79. And I know in the 30s and 40s, like those are more valuable picks. But if Brad wants to trade back out of 61 and make a move, I think there's a chance he gets back. He's going to be able to make a move. Or if he wants to move a 4th next year, you have 2 of them. I think that's where you're starting to look at some of these trades, and there is some value now, obviously. But I think there's value to Brad maybe trading back in and moving around a little bit. He's probably making phone calls right now as we speak.
Atlanta's owner was probably just like, you know what, Raheem, we're going to go trade up and get your guy. We're not going to let this GM touch another pick in this draft. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to trade up, go get Ruke, and then he's done cooking. We're not even going to let him pick in the 3rd round. He'd probably take another quarterback regardless. Arthur Blank was in awe. He was in awe yesterday that Michael Penix was the pick.
Isn't it interesting when you have a GM like Brad and you're looking at all these other teams and you're like, ooh, I remember when the Lions were in that position where, they're taking Jelani Tavai and you're sitting there like in secondhand embarrassment as a fan. And now it's funny to laugh at other teams making just dumb decision after dumb decision. And the Falcons, you know what? I like Penix. I don't know if that was the move. I can make sense of it. I don't agree with it. I think Dallas Turner's right there. You have to take him. But Ruke, I actually like a little more probably just because
DeJean Newton?
No, but I get it. The defensive line, at least they're addressing it. Maybe we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would prefer Johnny Newton, but better than
about this one, boys. We kind of talked about it a little bit beginning of the show, but if you think that there's a chance, any chance that Chris Jenkins or even a guy like Braden Fisk goes in front of DeJean Newton at this point?
No. There's no way DeJean will fall that far into like the 40s.
I think Braden Fisk could definitely go ahead of him. Because if that injury is as bad as that, people obviously he's falling. Like Braden Fisk he's a good option. Like he's a good. I wouldn't be shocked if Braden Fisk went and then Johnny went like a couple picks after him. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I think that injury that Johnny Newton has is probably more severe than we even think. Like they got the medicals and scaring some teams off.
Yeah, when we were talking about this for months, he was like top 15 for the longest, and then as the draft got closer and closer and closer, DeJean Newton just kept falling and falling, and then eventually, like, you started seeing the odds on sports books, and his over/under was like 32.5 or something like that, and it was he's definitely going to fall out of the first round, and that was a guy that was like projected 12, 13, 14, 15, and just kept falling. So that's interesting.
I know that's like, I feel like that's a player that we always like look at, and then Brad Holmes ends up finding a way drafting him. Like, this is like Brian Branch almost. If it's not Cooper DeJean, then it's DeJean Newton if he falls. Because where was Branch last year? 42, 44 in that range?
Yeah,
like middle of the 40s.
You see, Keitho gets it. Quality over quantity this year.
I like that. Right, I'll give picks up to get quality. I'll rather have 4 guys that are going to impact this team than get a couple guys that you need to develop going forward.
See, I want to make it very clear. The quality over quantity saying is no relation to the Booner path. It is just something that was sprinkled on this draft. All right. The Booner path separate. It's levels above it. Make that very clear. That's a movement. That's a lifestyle. Quality.
It was the Iafrate narrative for the 2024 draft.
That's all it is.
The Booner path is everlasting.
No, that's a lifetime narrative. Or not.
Do you remember when you came at the Booner path?
Yes, we've talked about it probably 1,000 times. Yes, we have. I do remember that, and I did call it into question.
Oh, do they got Darrell Green doing the pick? You don't know about Darrell Green, Iafrate. You don't know about Darrell Green. Yeah.
Oh, he's taking himself.
That man was like 5'9" and was locking down wide receiver ones.
Dog.
One of the most underrated players of all time. Dude could fucking fly.
My God. Yeah.
Well, let's think as far as
gold jacket guy.
What's up?
Gold jacket guy?
Oh yeah. He's got a gold jacket.
Yeah, he played for 20 years.
He's got a muck card. Did he really?
God, make the pick.
Yeah. Dude.
Gee, this has got to be defense, though, I'd imagine.
No, let's stay on Darrell Green. He played from 23 to 42.
Bro, if you watch his highlights, Jeff, even though it's back in the day, you'll be like, damn.
Well, there's just no way they're putting this jersey on him in the thing. Just make the pick, give him the jersey, and walk off, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, you let Darrell Green talk his talk, dude.
Let him talk his talk. Oh, I love that. Yeah, he's really having his moment right here. Let him have his moment.
He's having a political campaign right now.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Adam said no more bitching about how long it takes.
I mean, Adam, sometimes though it's just like, what are we doing here?
I was gonna say there's times where it's egregious, where it's not whoever's doing the pick gets their moment.
I mean, that is the point of them doing the pick.
That's just the thing, but the thing is, it's like everyone knows who the pick is most likely, and you're just sitting up there just talking, dude. Just say the pick. He's still going on my end. He's been going for 5 minutes.
All right.
Play the music. Get the man out of there.
Pick. So
okay. You're still talking.
Pick.
This isn't even this.
Oh, my bad, Boone.
That's what it was on the TV? DeJean Newton?
Yeah, DeJean Newton. So Newton's gone. Damn. Hey, good for him, though.
Yeah, I mean, they have Jonathan Allen. The little tandem down there. For now.
Deron Payne as well.
So why?
I mean, I don't hate the pick for him. Their secondary was just so bad. And you look, AJ Brown just got re-signed. CeeDee Lamb just got re-signed. There's some corners there, but maybe just to what Brad was alluding to, and a lot of GMs feel the same way. Yeah, on the outside, it looks like this is a very deep corner class, but maybe it's not upper-end talent. Maybe when you look back in this draft in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds, you're like, wow, there's a lot of quality corners there. But 1st and 2nd round, maybe not.
Except for one exception.
Who?
And would that be Nate Wiggins?
Nope.
Say the name.
Would it be TJ Tampa?
Say the name.
Mm-hmm. Khalil McKinstry.
I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you.
He'll be one
He's
of them.
still falling, Jeff. Still
I
not
know.
gone.
Yeah.
You know what?
Where
He's
do you think
falling.
he
And I
goes?
have
What's
my
the
hand
prediction?
out. I have
Where
my
do you think
hand
he
out.
goes?
I'm trying to grab his hand. He won't grab it. He's just continuing to fall.
Can we get a
So
prediction?
What if Kool-Aid's there at
I
61,
said-
Jeff?
I
What
don't
are
know
you
if you're-
doing?
I don't know if you. I'm not taking. I don't think I'd take that corner. I said it, Boone. I don't think he falls past 44. So
I mean, Jeff, we had him going in the top 30.
no,
44.
but we're already
That's
past that. I'm
falling,
talking about
falling.
right today, where with
Okay.
new information, I don't think he falls past 44. Yeah, I thought he'd be a
Well,
first
at least the
round pick.
Patriots picks are already in.
I didn't know the corners would start
hesitate.
going in the 20s, though. To be fair, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
seriously. No one expected 14 straight offensive players and Dallas Turner going 17. No one.
That Dallas Turner stuff's wild. I can't believe it.
All right, thank God. They're making this quick. The Patriot way.
I love this pick.
Booner, I want to hear your thoughts. I was talking about it with, I don't know if it was just when me and Jeff were kind of BSing this morning, but I feel like the only defensive player who went where they were projected to go was Jared Verse. Like, that was the only guy who went in the range.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Oh, hey, your boy, Boone.
What?
He went. Go ahead, give the pick, Boone.
I don't know the pick. This is
Jalen
what
Polk.
I'm just kidding. I've known the pick for 5 minutes already. Jalen Polk,
Yeah.
baby. I'm
There
over
you
here.
go, Boone.
I'm over here shaking right now.
So Jalen Polk, he goes before
Jalen
AD
Polk,
Mitchell.
I mean, that's good for him. Him and Drake May, dogs, dude. Jalen Polk, people like he a month ago he was supposed to go in the 3rd round. That man's moved all the way up, almost a first rounder at 37.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, no Troy Franklin taken in the 1st round. Did you notice? No Troy Franklin. No, that's a good pick for New England, though. I think DeMario Douglas, too, who's a really underrated receiver they got going on right now. He's not the biggest wide receiver, so he's going to kind of be their slot, kind of intermediate guy. But Jalen Polk, he's going to be, I think, immediate deep threat that's going to contribute and could probably be the wide receiver 1 if it's not Douglas right away. He's going to – that's what I think, Boone, especially if he's going to develop with Drake May, I think Jalen Polk could meet his ceiling in New England.
Well, the Titans, we'll see.
They just moved. Mm-hmm. BMG, how are we? We didn't really
Great, fellas.
acknowledge the presence coming in.
How are the boys doing?
We're
doing good.
Doing good, brother.
Draft's kind of moving at a pretty good, decent pace. Besides
I see
maybe
that.
some people maybe taking a little too long.
Lucas,
But
your boy Ladd went to the Chargers.
Yeah,
Oh
that was a good
gosh.
pick. That was a really
Oh
good
my
pick.
gosh.
I like it.
You know who's
Unbelievable
still
what's
hanging
about to
around,
happen.
Gentry?
Who's that?
I'm just gonna throw you guys
Boy,
out. What's
Kool-Aid
about to happen,
McKinstry's
you
still
guys?
hanging around.
What's happening right now? This is like a Booner Central. What's happening right now? When you guys see this next pick, you're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh."
Oh,
my
they're about to
gosh.
get Will Levis a weapon or something. I'm trying to wait.
Oh
Who's
my
there that
gosh.
Booner? Tavondre Sweat? Is it
my
Tavondre Sweat?
gosh.
Does Tavondre Sweat go here?
Booner.
Hey, Chris Jenkins.
Don't
is still on
forget
the
when
board.
when we say the Booner path, yes, it's for the Lions, but when it comes to the NFL, the path shines bright, brothers.
wait, what does
What
this
does
have
that
to do
even
with?
mean?
What does that?
Yeah,
what does
wait.
that even mean?
I don't know. Just think about it. Just think about it. This is unbelievable, guys. People are dropping. There's going to be a lot of players that drop. The Lions are going to have an opportunity with someone at 61. I'm telling you guys. And if not, they're going to have an opportunity to move up 5, 6, 7 spots and get someone. They're going to have a chance. There's a chance. They might add 2. I think there's a chance that they end up adding like 2 first-round talents that we've at some point we've all had projected to go in the first round.
So is this not a good pick for the
No,
Titans?
I think this is a great.
Is that what you're saying?
No, it's a great pick, but it's not someone like there's some of these top of the guys. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to throw it out there. Some of these big time names that were supposed to go in the first round are falling. Some of these guys are falling right now.
Yeah, which I will say too, at least with the JPJ and Zach Frazier, they're still falling. I still think if they continue to fall, you go get them. Offensive line.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
That's what I especially with the run on 3 wide receivers, which we all talked about yesterday, which would probably happen today.
Jeff, yeah, imagine Anakin just put it. Imagine if we ended up with if they did go corner and double down on corner and they just get Kool-Aid and Terrion. One of them has to work out, right?
And Brian Branch. They just got the fucking Alabama Crimson Tide secondary back there.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think. This could be a linebacker too. They just lost a very underrated signing for the Texans. Honestly, I like this signing for the Texans more than Stephon Diggs. Azeez Al-Shire, who was in San Francisco before, and they just rejoined D'Amico in Houston. So I could see Edrin Cooper going here, Peyton Wilson, maybe first linebacker off the board.
And they lost to Nico Autry too. You got to think about that. So is it defensive line? Is it corner? No, they just signed the Jerry Sneed, but defensive line. They address offensive line in the first round. Now it's time. Get after the quarterback. I just don't know who it'd be though.
So what are you thinking? Edge?
Maybe Braden Fisk, Chris Jenkins. You got Tavondre Sweat. Yeah. Edge. I guess they could go edge too. I mean, Marshawn Kneeland's there, but they did lose Autry, so I'm going to lean defensive tackle. But it's going to be a defensive lineman, I think.
The pick is in.
All right, let's find out. Take Spencer Rattler. Screw it.
He's back.
The man.
Yeah, I mean, so what is there? There's less than 30 picks until the Detroit Lions, correct?
Less than
they pick at 61.
20.
So
61.
yeah.
It's less than 20. Dude, if you just look at the top 20 prospects on the board, there's going to be an opportunity for some dogs to be on the board here. There's an opportunity here. And
23 picks to be exact.
23. Okay, so the 23rd overall pick here that I'm just looking at. I mean, Jackson Powers Johnson's the 20th ranked guy on ESPN left on the board right now. I would love a Jackson Powers Johnson to fall all the way to 61.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I don't know.
I do have another breaking news here. I'll announce if there's trades. I'll announce the trade.
Announce the trade.
So I do already know the pick here for 38. I won't give it to you guys. We'll let that play out. But the 39th pick, which is the Rams are
trade with the
Panthers. The Panthers were at 39. They are trading their pick to the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams, as soon as the Titans put the pick in, the Rams will be picking. I'm interested to see who the Rams pick. And you know who I think they go? I think they go defense. I think the Rams might have actually traded up for Kool-Aid McKinstry. I could be or Cooper DeJean. I think they would need to go defense and add to that secondary a little bit.
But it was Tavondre Sweat.
Oh yeah, Tavondre Sweat. This is tough. Yeah. We need to before we yell a pick out on the show, tell Jeff so he can play the thing so we know, boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good point, Boone. Good point, Boone.
So I think though the Rams are up next. I think they're gonna go secondary. I think they're gonna go secondary.
Yeah, I would man, corner. Take a corner.
They could go interior offensive line too. Keep building up that O-line.
Yeah, actually, JPJ.
Yeah, somebody.
Oh like yeah, that's a good one there.
Especially LA, bro. It's gonna be a good pick if it's the Rams.
My guess though, if you're trading at this point, I guess it is a surprise because the kid from the Falcons traded up and got the kid from Clemson, Ruke, and instead of DeJean Newton, you would think that you would trade up for DeJean Newton. But like if you're trading up at this point, you're probably trading up for one of these guys who are falling. That to me would be like a Kool-Aid or a Cooper DeJean. That's where I would, or a JPJ or Zach Frazier or something.
I'm gonna go JPJ.
You're gonna go JPJ.
I'm going Cooper.
I kind of like Patrick's idea, and I'm probably going to keep mocking him until he goes. But Mikey, man, I think if you bring him in there, he can make a difference. They need help in the secondary and in the run game, especially after losing Aaron Donald. I don't think you can go wrong with that.
With who? What?
I'm saying Mikey Sainristil.
Oh, Mikey.
Yeah.
They get Cooper DeJean next Eric Weddle.
Could you imagine? Just in the lineage. It's in the lineage.
Yeah. There you go. They want to he won a Super Bowl with him. Yeah. So you know what?
Oh, I just saw it, boys.
Saw it. Were we close with any of our picks?
We named
Who did you all say? Who did you guys all say?
Said Cooper
JP.
DeJean.
JPJ.
JPJ and Klotz, you said secondary as well, Cooper DeJean.
I said Mikey.
Mikey, okay. No one was close.
All right.
When we get close, once we get closer to them going on the stage, Klotz, you have the stream that's most ahead over there. When you see them almost walking out there, let me know and we'll announce it.
Okay.
Because it's none of those guys that we named. It's a little bit different here. And you know what, too?
Wow, the Panthers low-key got a haul for that.
What did they get? I didn't see the full.
So the Panthers, they gave up, or they get 52. They get a 5th round, and then they get a second rounder next year as well.
Oh, wow. They got a second. So
Yeah.
whoever the Rams get here, they must love it. They must love it.
Isaac
They must
Bruce,
love
dog.
this guy.
Can you guys hear that?
No.
Hear what?
No, you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can hear it, dude. It's loud. Man.
All right.
Turn that
You
down.
saying the
brother.
picks, fellas?
All right, you guys want it? Jeff, press the button. The Los Angeles Rams are taking Braden Fisk out of Florida State.
Wow.
So they're replacing Aaron Donald, fellas.
They basically moved back to 52, got a second, and got a 5th. Jesus. They wanted Braden Fisk bad.
Yeah, they wanted that, man. Him and Verse. And then who's the other? Is it Kobe Turner or is he the guard? I always kind of get that mixed up.
No,
They have-
Kobe Turner is their defense. He's a defensive lineman.
Yeah, so they got him. Now
Yeah.
they're adding Fisk, and then they got Jared Verse. I like this move because he's
They're
finesse.
building
And that's what Aaron Donald was.
Yeah,
Aaron
ETN
Donald
loves it.
By committee.
I mean,
By
they got
committee.
the tackle and the edge both from Florida State.
I didn't even think about that. That's a great
True,
point,
true.
Gentry.
Booner alert! The Booner bomb. Another trade here. The Eagles are moving up with the Commanders.
Did he call him Brandon Fisk on the thing?
Braden.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying on the
Oh, I
The
think you
broadcast.
said I did. I was
guy
like,
who was announcing the
So the Eagles are moving up now. The Eagles are
Okay.
moving up. They're moving up to 40 here. So the Eagles are
Could
now
this
on the
be
clock.
Cooper DeJean? Could this be because the Packers
Don't
are
think
sitting
so.
right there?
The Eagles already drafted Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah, but for safety, they don't have shit for safeties. They got Reed Blankenship.
By the way, too, the trades that have happened here, we've had a trade at 40, 39, 37, 35. What is that? 5 trades already and sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. So things are happening. We need to keep an eye out here for Dan Campbell making a move because there's chess going on tonight, fellas.
Oh, boys, my DoorDash is here. I'll be back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is a great pick by the Rams.
you know,
And the Commanders' pick is already in.
This
Well,
is interesting.
They got Jerzon Newton. They pick again. Maybe this is where you get a secondary player.
Who? No,
Or
Jeff,
offensive line would be really good.
Jeff,
JPJ.
the trade that I just read out. Eagles have the pick.
Oh,
Yep, Eagles have the pick. They took Quinyon Mitchell in the first round.
they should
Yeah.
go linebacker here.
Edgerrin Cooper, maybe.
Yeah,
Junior
that'd be,
Colson.
good. That'd be a good pick. That'd be a good pick.
This is going to be interesting.
That'd be a really good pick. I mean, and unless they say F it and take Cooper DeJean. But they already had CJ Gardner Johnson and who's the other white safety they got?
Oh, Blankenship.
Yeah, Blankenship.
Reed Blankenship.
Who's actually pretty good. He's not bad.
All right. Let me know when you guys want me to announce here. And when you guys get close there on your guys' end. Wow. This is exciting, boys. The NFL drafts, I think day 2 is almost as exciting as day 1 because things are happening over here and it is unbelievable. It is unbelievable.
Did the Eagles ever address life after Kelsey? Didn't they? Is it Lander Dickinson playing center?
No, Lander Dickinson is not. It's Cam Jurgens, and I believe they took him. Let me check what round they took him, but he was, I think, a rookie last year. They took him in round 2, 51 overall in 2022, and he kind of has taken over there.
So I don't think they're going to go offensive line. I think they go secondary, or excuse me, linebacker.
Linebacker.
Yeah, maybe it's your boy Cooper, Lucas. Maybe he goes to the Eagles here.
Maybe. I think it would be JPJ, though.
You think so?
Or Zach Frazier. Me personally. And that's what I'm doing if I'm Howie.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch Cam Jurgens. I don't know, like, if he's worth, like, if he's a guy you just replace. I don't. I'll stick with Cooper.
DeJean? Are you saying Edrin Cooper or Cooper DeJean?
Oh, Edrin Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget there's two Coopers here. Yeah, no.
Peyton Wilson, possibly.
Or Peyton
Jeremiah
Wilson?
Trotter. Jeremiah Trotter.
They better not. Better not. I don't want to see him.
Yeah, you won't.
Jeremiah Trotter.
They got Devin White this offseason, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Just re-signed. Yeah, I think they'd go.
Devin White's what, a 1-year deal?
Yeah.
There's another trade, boys. I've got another trade here.
What is it, Boone?
So the pick is already in at 40. The pick is already in at 40, so that's done. 41. The Saints are moving up at 41 with the Green Bay Packers. Wow. Our guy Tom Grassi's probably. I would love to know how crazy he is because they just traded back again. The Packers just made a trade.
Wow.
Moving back. So as soon as we get this pick in here from the Eagles at 40, the Saints will be on the clock instead of the Packers.
The Packers don't pick till 58 now.
And Brad's going to jump him.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. Who's at 57? Who's at the Bucks, the Cowboys? Why don't we go up to 55 in front and go trade with the Dolphins there?
Yeah, I like that.
Would love that. All
right, they're walking on the stage right now. I think it's Fletcher Cox. No, it's Brandon Graham.
Here we go. Jeff, do you want to hit the button?
Yeah, hit the button, Jeff.
Hit the button,
Do it,
Jeff.
Hit the damn button.
40th pick of the 2024 draft. The Eagles select back-to-back corners in the NFL draft. They go Cooper DeJean out of Iowa, fellas.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, that's a he ain't no corner.
That's why Green Bay trades
corner.
back to him.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay.
So now the Saints are on the clock too. That's interesting because now you have Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, who maybe they'll move him, and you have Darius Slay still there, and then you have CJ Gardner-Johnson, you have Blankenship. You could tell like their need was secondary, and they're like, we're going all in on that. We're going all in. Shout out Brandon Graham though, by the way, Michigan man.
Fine, Michigan man. Now the Saints, the Saints went. They went. They went Fuaga in the first round, right?
Maybe this is where you get Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that'd be a good fit for them. Could
Like
be an edge as well. No edge is gone yet, boys. It's a good sign.
Yeah, you're starting. So what you're starting to see, it's like what I was saying before, is you're starting to see that there's all these trades. There's been like 6 trades already in the start of this round. It's just all of these teams that were towards the back half of the first or the second round or a couple picks down, and they're wanting to trade up for these guys who are falling. It's kind of what I'm noticing. Is they're like, oh, Cooper DeJean's falling all the way down to 40. Let's go get him. That was a guy we probably had no clue we were going to have an opportunity to get. So I think that's what's happening right now.
Do you think he'd have an impact on Philly's defense year one, Boone and Jeff?
What'd you say?
Do you think DeJean would be a guy that's going to have an impact year one for Philly's defense?
I think you know what, they got Vic Fangio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of scheme he's running over there, playing multiple safety. I mean, you could put Cooper. He's just so athletic. You play him special teams. They have Blankenship. What he plays in the slot, that allows you to kind of play maybe too high there. If you got Darius and you got Mitchell now, so maybe you can run Cooper DeJean and CJ Gardner-Johnson out there. And Coop, he's athletic.
Yeah,
he can move. All the white jokes aside, like I know he has never played safety, but I do think he should play safety, and I think he'll be a really good safety.
I think it's good. I think we had these conversations, guys, that the top DBs in this class were what? Quinyon, Terrion Arnold, and Cooper DeJean. Like those were the three guys that everyone was saying could go from 10 to 20. And the Eagles landed 2 of the 3 guys there, which is really, it's kind of crazy.
They got, I mean, talk about a secondary. They needed some changes.
Yeah.
They were awful.
So
I thought you were about to say they were going to take Kool-Aid, Boone.
No, I mean, no, I think it's been obvious the 3 guys that have been talking about to go in the top 20 is those 3 guys. And then Kool-Aid's kind of right outside of that.
Yeah.
But
yep.
Pick is in for the Eagles here, or not the Eagles. Why did they say that? They said, the Saints.
I think it'd be smart for him. I mean, Lattimore, I don't know if they want to keep him around long term. And they got a Debo.
Yeah.
Who's really good. But
Go ahead and hit it, Jeff. Go ahead and hit it, Jeff.
Oh, I got it. Yep.
Who is
My
it?
notes, the Saints pick.
Yep.
The New Orleans Saints are selecting cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama.
Oh, Jeff.
Yeah,
41.
You
said he wouldn't go past what, 42 or 44?
44. I said he won't pass 44 because
the Saints moved up for him.
Yeah, the Saints move up for him. Good pick by them.
In front of Houston. Houston's on the clock. It's their first pick of the draft. What do you think they go here?
Oh, don't you feel like they're in a spot to where they can kind of? I mean, not get. They're kind of like the Lions. We had this conversation before.
They need to take JPJ.
Oh, the
not
the
to cut you off. Yeah, you protect
Yeah.
CJ Stroud as much as you can. Zach Frazier. This should be offensive line. Because think about how much they added to the defensive side of the ball. They have safeties. They have corners. They just picked up Jeff Okudah, so they don't have to worry about anything in the cornerback room. They picked up Daniil Hunter, Azeez Al-Shire. I say go offense here. Protect Stroud.
That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea, actually. That is not bad at all. A lot of guys are still dropping, guys. The way this whole thing's kind of starting off here, things are happening.
Kool-Aid looks so mad. That's gonna light a fire under his ass.
It's like the Brian Branch thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Brian Branch thing.
He's like not mad. I shouldn't say that, but like you can tell he's got that look. Like, okay,
is he at the draft too or no?
The way they showed him, I don't think so.
I think he was at home. It looked like he was at home.
He is.
They announced they only brought in I think about 15 to 20 different prospects, and I think they only got like the top guys because they didn't want to run into that situation that they had the last 2 years, fellas, where you have a couple guys sitting in the green room. Example, Brian Branch, who gets invited because they invite 40 people, and you're like, oh well, we know some of these guys aren't going to go.
Yeah, facts.
Oh, Klotzy, I don't think you're going to like this next pick. I don't think you're going to like this one.
Why say that?
I think I just don't by what you just said a second ago on their needs and kind of everything that you broke it down there. There's a chance here you're not going to like this one.
Is it a player I like? Go ahead and hit the noise, Jeff.
Not really. What pick is this? 41 with the 41st pick of the NFL draft. The Texans select Kamari Lassiter, corner out of Georgia.
I don't hate it.
It's interesting, like you said, the 2 corners. I mean, you just signed Jeff Okudah.
Yeah,
and I think Lassiter will play better as CB2. Like he could play alongside Stingley. Like I think that's a better fit rather than going into a situation where like they demand him to be either number 1 corner. So that's a good pick. Good pick. They got Jeff Okudah, so I'm surprised. I'm surprised they're that corner. I'm surprised.
What you're seeing, fellas, it's just how many is this now?
Jeff
3 straight corners off the board. Corner Cooper DeJean. All it took was Cooper DeJean to go, 1 corner to go, and now everyone it's like literally a couple picks ago as well. When you're at 30 or at 35, Ruke Orhorhoro, or how you pronounce his name, gets drafted, and then you have DeJean Newton, and then obviously you have Jalen Polk, but then you have T'Vondre Sweat, Braden Fisk. Like that whole like line of defensive tackles just went. Basically 4 out of the 5 picks of defensive tackles. Now you just have 3 straight corners, fellas.
Yeah, and Arizona could easily take like a TJ Tampa here as well. But their picks in, so they're not fucking around.
No, they're
not.
I
think that's what they need. They took you get Marv. You get Darius Robinson. Now go ahead to the secondary. Maybe a linebacker here. They can go offensive line too, for sure. JPJ wouldn't be bad for them here.
I think JPJ would be a slam dunk right here.
I think for any team at this point, getting him is.
Yeah. You got just for the for any team, but for the Cardinals, I mean, it's a rebuild. You draft a clear number one wide receiver, the number one wide receiver in the draft. You take Darius Robinson, rebuild that defensive line. Then you take JPJ, start rebuilding that offensive line. You took Paris Johnson last year. Like now you're putting together the trenches. Like it's starting to look like a
building a little bit
an organization, so. Or even DB, your boy. I mean, Max Melton, he's still here. So remember we talked a lot about the Cardinals. They do need DBs.
Oh, what do you think fucking Grassi's doing right now that DeJean's off the board?
Oh, yeah.
The Philly of all teams.
Especially because, they traded.
Yeah, the best DB, they have Rakestraw, Tampa, Max Melton. Sainristil's here.
Mm-hmm. I've always liked Mikey to Arizona.
They could go a couple different ways here. I would probably I would probably go JPJ here if I'm.
That's where I'd go, or Frazier, just one of the centers.
Yeah, take an offensive lineman, interior center, and then maybe I'm sure they have a third. Take a corner, take Renardo Green. There you go.
Take Cade Stover, the tight end out of Ohio State.
No, they got
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride, remember the name.
Hey, Trey McBride's a fine tight end. Very fine tight end.
Very, very, very reliable. 50 yards a game.
Hey, I want to bring this up too in the comments. Braylon Trice is on the board, and that's a guy too. I know you guys were that was someone we kept mocking to our drafts, and him and Marshawn Kneeland, everyone's like, all right, let's stop doing that because it was like but I'm a Braylon Trice fan. I like that. I heard was it Latu and Max Crosby said they worked out with Braylon Trice and how good he is and how legit of an edge rusher he is, and hearing like names like that kind of talk about it is big time.
Yeah, he just lacks that athleticism that GMs want in the draft. I think people are even mocking him.
Were to select him, I wouldn't be upset.
No, I would love an edge, a Braylon. I would love that. And then if you get back in the third and get yourself a wide receiver, that's like the perfect draft.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect draft. Can we keep a note here of Al? Anytime I almost said Allen. I don't know why. Adam, was the pick out? Klotz?
No, but I just saw that Adonai Mitchell's still available, and I just was like, if you get Marvin Harrison to Adonai Mitchell, like, oof.
I remember Adam kept telling me, Booner, stop drafting Marshawn Kneeland, and he just said he falls around 4 and 5. Just note that in the back of our heads real quick, just in case he goes in this round 2.
He's the next pick. Arizona takes him right here.
That'd be so funny. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I was never a big Kneeland guy. At first, I'm like, okay, Kneeland. When I started to get to know him more, not that I know him personally, but watch more of Kneeland, I'm like, I don't know if that. No, I'm good.
That would be awesome if he goes in the next 5 picks.
And then he's gone. Yeah, then the Cardinals take him after Darius Robinson.
That'd be awesome.
I'm not a huge fan of Kneeland, but we'll see. Cardinals should go offensive.
Lisa Isaac just entered the top 5 board. Mel's big board. The Kites. That's what I want. If Isaac goes at 61 here, boys, or Brad makes a move up, we're gonna be in great fucking shape as Lions fans. I'm interested though.
The thing is, it's like even moving up, we're not far off the Lions pick too. That's the thing.
Yeah, we're getting down to it.
I
still think it's gonna be a move.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just over here refreshing because it's very interesting to me that some of these guys are dropping.
All right. They're about to be walking out. Hold up.
Can I just
go ahead, Jeff? Go ahead, Jeff.
Jeff hit it. The 43rd overall pick. The Cardinals are selecting. You guys ready for this one? Max Melton, corner.
Damn.
No corner.
Four straight corners off the board. 4 straight.
That's usually how it is in most drafts. Once a couple players get selected in a similar position, there's a run. Now teams are starting to panic and they take Max Melton, thinking we're not going to be able to get him next time we select. So
great pick. I love that.
Yeah, I would go JPJ, but I don't hate it. I think Max Melton's a good player, so can't be mad at it. It's a good pick.
Beautiful Cardinals fan who just on the screen look like a Latina. Take me back to Glendale with you, sweetie.
Hey, you want to throw this out there? Has Panay's cousin been drafted? I don't know if that's what that guy up north was talking about. Panay's cousin's still on the board. That's an interesting one as well. Very interesting one. They brought him in on a top 30 visit as well. That's something to keep an eye out on.
And Taylor Decker?
Yes. They brought him in on a top.
They didn't come to an agreement yet, so.
Yep.
Let's see.
Man, Max Melton, that's a guy, Jeff, we love Max Melton. We didn't know how far he would fall. He goes 43. That's crazy.
JT's massive purpose. You guys did a great job last night. Keep up the great work. I'll be watching 100%. Appreciate you, JT.
We'll be live all night, all day tomorrow, baby. I think, what does it start tomorrow? 12 o'clock. It's a noon draft.
Yep. Go early.
Three rounds, I believe. Or 4.
Raiders on the clock. Rounds. What did you guys think of the Raiders taking Brock Bowers last night?
It's weird. Really
it is weird, but he's such a weapon. It really doesn't matter.
That's a BPA pick to me. It's just he's there. You take him. You know.
All right, pick is in. Jeff, go ahead. Hit the chime.
Hit it. 44th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Las Vegas Raiders select Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. Where he goes. Jackson Powers Johnson is gone.
I could tell by the tone in your voice, Booner wasn't going to be good.
Yeah, once I got that one, I was a little, because he's someone you want to fall, you think he could fall. And by the way, too, I just want to throw this out: the Packers are on the clock. This is a big pick. This is a huge pick. This is a NFC North tier. Shout out Tom Grassi. This is a big pick, fellas.
Do you guys have Mr. Heroes in Michigan?
Never heard of it.
Nope.
No way. Know what that is. It's not on a mean. You'd appreciate Mr. Heroes, Gentry.
What
mean
is it?
Cheesesteak. Mean cheesesteak.
Cheesecake?
Cheesesteak.
Oh, cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak's great. Cornelius, we did not
cheesecake. If you're talking desserts, you're talking to Jeff.
Yeah. Not a dessert guy. I can have if I'm going to bed, I'll eat 2 or 3 Oreos. Then I'll be chilling. But I can't eat a full piece of cake anymore. Anything like that. Maybe a cupcake usually does the trick.
Cake is ass.
I really don't indulge. The only thing I'd like, to be honest, and Mike knows my weakness, is if there is a milkshake nearby. I'm indulging.
And or slushy.
I'll take a slushy. But I don't really eat sweets like that.
You pound the table for slushies.
Guys.
It's a Slurpee, but continue.
I just saw
grown man calling a drink a Slurpee.
All right, boys.
What's slushy?
Adam put in their chocolate chip banana bread. That is very.
His
very
wife
good.
makes the best chocolate chip
with melted. Put some butter on it, a nice warmed up. All right, off desserts. I love you guys. Let's talk football. I want to throw this out there real quick. I just saw a picture of Jackson Powers Johnson. I think I could be his little brother.
Booner, I'm looking at it right now, and I didn't know which one was Jackson Powers Johnson. You are absolutely correct.
I think me and
you absolutely could be, dude.
That was the first time I saw him with no helmet.
Oh, wait.
Do you guys know who?
That's me. I just got drafted.
Yeah,
I just got drafted.
Like that meme.
The Raiders.
It's that meme that you see. You guys ever seen that? He's watching the draft and he gets drafted. And he's like,
little sass. Shout out.
Wait, it's me.
He looks like. Do you guys know who Tim Dillon is? The comedian.
Dude, that is me. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
he looks like Tim. He looks like Tim Dillon.
That's crazy. The Packers pick is in too, guys.
All right, go ahead. They're announcing it.
Press the button. With the 45th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select linebacker Edgerrin Cooper.
No, dude, I was literally about to say just don't be Edgerrin Cooper.
It's Edgerrin Cooper. But it's weird though. They do have a lot of that defense. They're kind of smart what they did. They have dudes in that linebacking room right now.
Well, let's quickly go to Booner. Let's get his thoughts on it.
Oh, damn. damn.
Booner, what do you think?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think this looks like you at all, dude. I don't think it does.
They have Quay Walker and Isaiah McDuffie though, so they just added They just added a big time piece. That Adrian Cooper, that's a great pick from the
Yeah,
Packers.
and boys, just
Tom's
watch
probably going nuts right now. Just
when they play his highlights right here, just watch him. Like that's going to be a guy that's probably the NFC North pick outside of Caleb Williams that scares me the most. Just being honest, just because he's going to be a guy that's going to be he's going to be so physical playing in Lambeau when it's cold. They just lost Devondre Campbell, their best linebacker. So bringing him in there, he's fast. He fucking kills people, bro.
He
like
just murdered that dude.
Kills people.
I think we're almost getting in striking distance with Brad Holmes, guys.
I would say once past, what are we at? 46? Past 50.
Trade alert.
The
Panthers.
Daniel Jeremiah said screams grit. Zach Frazier.
Yeah. So this what's going on here right now, fellas. Let's break this down.
Panthers
just traded up to pick 46 with the Colts. I already have the pick here. I don't know if they're going to walk it in yet.
Watch, they probably will take.
They gave up 52, 142, and 155. They gave up basically 2 extra picks to go up and get this player.
It's Zach.
Wow.
It's got to be Zach Frazier.
Where were they sitting at before? You said 52?
52. They traded up. How many spots?
And Adrian Cooper just went?
They just traded up 6 spots to get this guy.
And it was JPJ, Adrian Cooper? Yeah, this is Zach Frazier. I'd imagine. Adis's Isaac's falling, though, boys. I'll be there for it.
Yeah, dude, honestly, Klotzy, either Adisa or Braylon Trice, I'm sitting there, I'm happy with, right? Like, I'm very happy if one of those guys get to you. That's I'll stand on that. One of those 2 guys, if you don't have to trade and you get one of them, I'm very happy with that from the Lions. Extremely.
All right, pick is in, Jeff.
All right, with the 46th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers trade up and get their next running back of the future, Jonathan Brooks, out of Texas.
Wow.
They lose. They don't have any running. They have Chuba Hubbard, and they go and get Jonathan Brooks.
I like it. Maybe not where everybody expected, but I like where they traded up to because you look at it, Giants, they just saw Saquon Barkley. There's a real possibility that he did, and if they didn't after that, you talk about the Cowboys needing running back. There's the Cardinals can move back up and take a running back. There's a lot of teams that would want Jonathan Brooks right now, and I think he is without a doubt the best running back in this draft. The thing that it's against him is he really only has 1 year of tape at Texas, but in that 1 year, I mean, he looked pretty damn good. What do you guys think about him going before like Corum, though?
I think he was going to be wasn't he? Yeah. I think he was projected already to be the first running back off the board. I think it's great for the Panthers, just because they didn't have the weapon in the backfield there with Bryce.
Yeah.
You know, so you're looking there. You have Chuba Hubbard, probably not
they have
guy
Miles
you want.
Sanders too. But
do they still have?
Miles he's asked, but they paid him 4 years.
That's tough. I didn't even realize Miles Sanders was even still there. I think this is great for them, actually. Add another weapon.
That makes it even better. The fact that they have Miles Sanders.
I know, but they just paid him. Like, I mean,
yeah, but he got a terrible contract too.
Yeah, you do need a 1-2 punch too. I mean, so maybe it'll help him out a little bit. But he was fucking awful.
We saw him at
Brooks. You mentioned Jonathan Brooks the 1 year. That's actually better, I think, for running backs,
especially for your narrative, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, he has 50 carries flat the prior 2 seasons. Like he's fresh.
He's more. That's more room to run him into the ground too.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would phrase it a little differently. You can utilize him a lot more.
He's got a little bit more tread under the tires, so we can use.
I hate saying it like that.
Real quick,
but
I'm gonna keep throwing this out. Adonai Mitchell's still on the board.
Yeah, that's
Adonai
crazy.
Mitchell's sitting there. I don't know what's going on with
Brad
Mitchell.
Moves up and takes Adonai in the second round.
If Brad ends up with Adonai Mitchell and Terrion Arnold,
right there, man.
AD Mitchell and Terrion Arnold, that's crazy.
That's probably 2 of the top 32 players in this draft. If you just take positions out of it, in my opinion.
Crazy, man.
Or if they get Zach Frazier,
the pick is in.
Yeah, pick is in. They're about to be coming up.
I've got.
Just go ahead, hit the bell for the one time.
2024 NFL Draft. The New York Giants are selecting Tyler Nubin, safety out of Minnesota. First safety off the board.
McKinney's replacement.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's crazy that Nubin went before Mikey. He went before Cam Kitchens. If you want to consider Cooper DeJean a safety, obviously then you can, but he's pretty much the first safety off the board.
I believe we have another trade here. I could be wrong here.
It'll update probably in a second here.
Oh, never mind.
So looking at throwing out some names as far as tackles go for the Lions at 61. You got Kingsley, who is that Panay's cousin, or is Panay's cousin go to Yale?
Panay's cousin is BYU.
Okay, so Kingsley, Panay's cousin, still there. Your boy Jeff, Robert Rosengarten, tackle out of Washington.
That's actually Mel loves him a lot. Rosengarten, he would be a solid addition to any team that needs
Robert Rosengarten. Okay, I understand he's not Fuaga. Okay, but he's still a guy that you let him develop in the NFL and be fine. Javon Bullard's still there. TJ Tampa's still there. There's still a lot of names that I'd be comfortable with.
Yeah, 100%.
Shift God, yes. Jonah Ellis is still there too. Jonah Ellis, I think, will be there at 61 if the run on defensive end hasn't started yet. The question is, does Brad feel like that's a guy he has to take now, or he can trade back for, or trade back and get a guy similar tier to him?
I wonder what the trade if for Brad to move up. Now that we're at what pick are we at? 48. As you start getting closer into the 50s, how much it would take, because that pick just to move up 5 spots essentially for Jonathan Brooks, it took 2/5. So it's not like they had to give up a ton. You have 2/4 next year. Maybe you give one of those 4ths up next year and trade up and go get an AD Mitchell. That's what, like right now, that's what I'm thinking in my head. If you guys want to know what the Booner Path is thinking, it's, hey, they just gave up 2/5 to move up 5 or 6 spots. You're even farther back, so it's going to take a little less to move up. Just the way the cookie crumbles there. Move up from 61 to say that's 55 and jump the Cowboys, because the Cowboys didn't take a wide receiver in the first round. Jump the Cowboys because they might be sitting there trying to get a Donnie Mitchell. You jump the Cowboys with the Dolphins, go to 55 if AD is still there, and you take Mitchell and you run away. Give up a 4th round pick to move up because you have 2 next year.
Yeah,
I do think there's a reason he's falling. I think
that's what I was gonna ask. Like, I don't know why though. Like, he went to Georgia. He wasn't anything crazy, but he held his own. Was able to show what he could do as far as intangibles. Go to Texas. In 2 years, he's had 1 drop. He can run through all 3 levels of the field. But I wonder if it goes back to kind of what I was saying. I know you guys kind of agreed with me to this, that he's a jack of all trade but master of none. And I wonder what you kind of just allude to, Booner, if there's something off the field, maybe mentally. But I don't know. He's a top 32 player in this draft.
I heard an insider mention that they saw him. I don't know if it was an insider or someone that worked within a team, that they saw him and it was a weird environment. I think it might have been, I don't know, when they saw him, it wasn't something that they were kind of pleased about. I don't know if that was the terms
like
they used.
Club or something, or what? Like,
no, it was at a game that he just had a bad attitude on the field the day he saw him, and it might have been one of these college football playoff game, or it might have been one of the later games in the year. But I think I remember hearing someone say that they saw him at one of these games, and the character was a little off a little bit, and they were like, well, maybe, and that was why they thought that he wasn't going to go in the first round and he could drop a little. And then they were like, well, it was only one day I got to see him, and it was only that moment, so you never know what happened or what was happening, so maybe that's not him. But now you see him dropping, and that story pops up back in my head. I don't remember who said it, but that story pops up in my head, and you think that instantly, like, okay, maybe that was it.
Did we do the Giants selection already?
We did. Right? Is the Jags up? I have the Jags pick because I do have back-to-back.
They went to commercial break, so the Giants are just now picking. That's why I was kind of confused for a second.
Okay.
Here's Tiki, though, Boone.
My insider. I've got all the way through pick 49 here, boys. This is unbelievable.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said Tyler Nubin. I forgot about that. Hey, that's their Xavier McKinney replacement, though.
Yeah, Jeff said that. I totally forgot. Taking so long.
Jeffrey, how you doing over there, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm just
I'm doing
actually
good.
posting something real quick.
So Jacksonville, Cincy, no teams. When does Chicago pick next, Boone? You know? Can you see?
I'll pull it up.
Chicago, they don't even pick in this round. They pick in the next round. I don't know.
Hey, Gentry, I've talked about this before you joined. I think this is a real possibility.
I know. I was just about to ask that. I wouldn't hate it at all.
Him or boys? What if Mikey falls to 61?
That would be big.
I'll let you guys speak on that because my Michigan fandom might be bleeding in here.
Or Chris Braswell, Gentry? Chris Braswell? You bring Terry on and Braswell?
These guys,
yeah.
too.
Adam was saying he doesn't like Isaac, and I saw somebody comment this under our stream this morning that they don't like Isaac because he has a torn Achilles, and they say that all of his production is because Chop is getting all the non-statistical pressures and it's leading Isaac to get it there. But I look at the tape, and I still just see take numbers away. Adisa Isaac is a way more polished defensive end that just lacks Chop's ceiling. So I think if you take him in round 2, torn Achilles, it sounds like Brad Holmes would be all for that because Emmanuel Mosley did that and they re-signed him within his heartbeat. Well, his ACL, but still. All right, Jags, go ahead and hit it, Jeff.
Chris Jenkins,
48th overall pick, the 2024 NFL Draft.
For 2 years?
Selecting Mason Smith, defensive tackle out of LSU.
Wow, good pick by them.
Big man. He is a huge
Big dog. Big dog.
Speaking of DJ Reader, that's a DJ Reader type of man right there.
Easy.
What do you think about Gentry? What do you think about Devondre Sweat going so early in the second round?
I mean, I was kind of surprised because there was still some defensive tackles off the board, but I mean, dude's a unit. So, I mean,
dog. Talk to me, Gentry.
He's a unit. I mean, I probably would have gone with a few of the other defensive tackles, but I mean, he's a big dog. So,
yeah, a lot more defensive
he's gonna be
tackles
clogging the middle.
What do you say, Jench?
I said he's a big dog. He's gonna be clogging the middle. Sorry, I just seen something in the chat, but I don't.
No, you're good. So you got Mason Smith, you got Ruke.
I've seen it in the chat a couple times now. I've seen it a few times. Just hit the button. I'll just say it right now because I've seen it in the chat. If you don't want to hear the Bengals pick, close your ears real quick. The Bengals are selecting with the 49th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. They are selecting Chris Jenkins out of Michigan.
Damn, what are the odds? What are the odds? That's
the DJ Reader replacement, man.
Yeah, good pick by them.
That's big time from them, actually.
Yeah,
that's a huge piece.
More athletic DJ Reader for sure.
I mean, I think
that's
I think every time we did a mock, we had them either taking like Byron Murphy or one of the defensive tackles in the first round, and maybe getting or getting a wide receiver. So
for the Bengals, that's such a safe pick. Like, I don't think there's any way. I don't think that he's necessarily going to be like an all-pro type of player, but when you talk about him, I think he's one of the players with a higher floor in this draft at the defensive interior spot. Chris Jenkins. So then after this, we got Washington. I'm trying to think of what they could use. They could probably use an edge. They just lost Montez Sweat. They could use a linebacker. Their whole fucking secondary is depleted. They need offensive line. They could go a lot of ways with this. This could be Zach Frazier. Could be Mikey. But they got Cameron Curl, so I don't know about Mikey. I rip ass, boys.
Who did Washington get in the first round again?
They got Jane Daniels.
I mean,
and then they took somebody in the second round already, didn't they? I'm almost positive they did.
Wait, who? Sorry.
The Commanders, didn't they have a pick early in the first round, or did they trade it out?
I'm pretty sure they traded it out. I don't think they picked.
This might be the trade pick that they had. Could be wrong.
Oh, wait, you said the Commanders?
Oh yeah, they took DeJean Newton.
Wow. Maybe they go offensive line. Maybe they go Zach.
Chad had our back there. Everyone started responding.
Maybe they want to protect Jaden Daniels and go and they do that. And
that's a good point. I like that. Yeah.
Draft your franchise quarterback.
Dude, Chris Jenkins at 49 is one of my favorite picks of this draft.
That's a
just
good
for the value of it.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I would have probably taken him over Ruke, and I'm not saying that Ruke's a bad pick, but if you're trading up for Ruke, or would you rather stay put and get Chris Jenkins or Braden Fisk?
Wow.
Yeah, here's the run on defensive tackles.
It's crazy.
Might even stop soon because I'm trying to think what other defensive tackles you have remaining.
Well, I just meant the Jags and Bengals. I don't think the Commanders.
No, I'm saying there's been so many already. Like, I feel like it's probably coming to a halt here. It's gonna be a run on something else.
Oh my gosh, this next one's gonna kill all of us.
Yeah,
it's gonna be if it's Washington, it's definitely gonna be Mikey. I feel like.
Yeah, secondary players.
Yeah, because
the next best defensive. Sorry, Lucas. The next best defensive tackle is Michael Hall from Ohio State, your boys. So
now we go to the run on
Hall?
secondary players. This is where
this is where Brad I think is gonna have to start trading up because this could even be
interesting. The pick. Oh, never mind. I'm a little behind here. Oh my gosh. We're less than 10 picks away, or not less than 10 picks. We're about 10 picks away from the Detroit Lions, fellas. Let's go. Got the Kool-Aid. Tastes good.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. Hit that button, baby.
With the 50th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select out of Michigan, Mikey Sainristil, defensive back. Great for them. They get DeJean Nubin and Mikey Sainristil, guys.
Dan Quinn's gonna love him some Mikey, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Dan Quinn pick right there.
I guys, I said Jaden Daniels to Washington. I didn't think Washington was a bad position because they're going to have a defense. Remember all those Cowboys defenders that Dan Quinn brought with him essentially, and now you just drafted DeJean Newton, Mikey Sainristil. They're building something, and I know it maybe not be on the offensive end, but they do already have weapons. Klotz, they have weapons on the other side.
Yeah.
Now you build that defense up. That defense.
Yeah, I think the Commanders.
It's interesting.
I think people are kind of underselling them just because of what Dan Schneider's done to them recently. But I think what they're doing as a roster, they're not anything terrifying in NFL means. But I think 2 or 3 seasons they'll be a respectable franchise. When you look at what Mikey does, Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, they're all mobile quarterbacks. You let Mikey kind of do what the Lions are going to do with Branch. This is a great pick.
Commanders have killed this draft. They got their quarterback, Jaden Daniels. They got DeJean Newton in the second, and they also here in the second, they got Mikey. They have dominated, I think, this draft as well. This is a team that's done a good job.
I would say they've probably top 3 drafts so far.
Yeah.
So far. Yeah, he was going to go soon, though. If you would have told me Mikey went to 50 a couple months ago, I would have laughed in your face. And be like, you have no clue what you're talking about. Like, Mikey is another top 32 player in this draft. 3
lunches from Klotzy if you guys are watching here and you guys
you made a clean sweep, pal.
Clean sweep on lunch bets here. Where were they again?
It was Xavier before Leggett before 28.5, or maybe it was some behind it. It was Mikey before 28.5 and 6 quarterbacks. That shit was over quick. That was for every other pick. I literally said you guys are acting like every other pick's going to be a quarterback. There's no way that happens.
That's literally what happened too.
In fact, what happened.
50% of them. That's crazy.
All right, Steelers on the clock. Steelers haven't won offensive line yet, have they?
I don't think so.
First round they went. Who did they take first round? Oh no, they took Amarius Mims. So they'll probably be going defense. They could go wide receiver here. They really only have George Pickens, and then who's the guy they got out of Memphis last year? Kelvin Austin. So they could go they go wide receiver here. You're muted, Hefe.
Little gadget, Kelvin Austin.
Hey, Kelvin Austin's a fine player. He's a fine player. He's your Khalif Raymond.
That play you made against the Bills playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what legacy right there.
80 Mitchell's still there, fellas.
I think this is where you say take our 4th next year and come on. Let's move up.
Because you got Indy. Washington is picking again here in a second, Boone. They're picking at 53.
They might take 80 Mitchell.
Could you imagine? Bro, Washington fans are happy right now. I'd be ecstatic.
Wait, do we know the Steelers pick yet?
No, not yet.
I got
the Steelers pick a wide receiver.
That's what I was saying. 80 Mitchell's still there. Troy Franklin, Malachi Corley.
I feel like I'm in the war room right now.
They traded Deontay Johnson to
this.
Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I want to live in the war room. This is unbelievable. I feel like I'm in here just absolutely dialed. I've got the pick, boys. This is awesome.
Awesome.
This is awesome.
All right. That's what we need to hear, Boone. I feel like we kind of all just took a little it's kind of deflating watching Chris Jenkins go off there.
Well, actually, I apologize. When I say this is awesome,
vibes were killed.
I don't know if that's it's good. I'm meaning it's awesome for the Steelers, not for the Lions.
Oh.
Yeah, when I said that, and then you go.
Yeah,
when I said it,
the sunglasses. This is awesome, boys.
When I said it, I meant in my head I was thinking for the Steelers. It's actually like not a bad opportunity for them.
That's fair.
and this might be a take that you guys don't like, but I would if you're gonna trade up, please take an offensive lineman.
Over like an AD?
Who's left on the board?
I mean, that's of relevance to the Lions. I obviously not a position of need, but just names that people can monitor. Zach Frazier, TJ Tampa, AD Mitchell. Pretty much all the defensive ends are sitting there past Darius Robinson in the draft.
Cooper Beebe's there.
Cooper Beebe.
Zach Frazier, like Jeff said. You got Christian Haynes out of UConn.
Not a Christian Haynes guy. I can honestly kind of be a little upset.
I would rather want Coop, but I was just naming. Names.
Oh, Gentry, don't be snappy with me.
All
right. Go ahead, hit that chime, Hefe.
All right. What pick is it? With the 51st pick of the 2024 draft, the Steelers select Jeff Iafrate's guy, center Zach Frazier out of West Virginia.
Damn, great pick by
Jeff.
them.
Damn.
Round 1 and 2, they went offensive line. They built that offensive line up for Russell Wilson. They're giving.
That's all Kenny Pickett needed to succeed there. They're now doing it.
Yeah, why did they wait until after Kenny left to give him some opportunities? Hey, how about that?
Well, now you go tackle. We've shifted the narrative. Now you go.
The narrative has been shifted.
Now we go tackle, ladies and gentlemen.
All right,
we lost
Indy's
the
on
battle,
here.
but we haven't lost the war.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to.
All right, Booner, do you have like the top players available still there? Just because I feel like we just went through like the big chunk of like
I have
the
it
desire.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, go off, Gentry.
AD Mitchell is number 1, Ennis Rakestraw number 2, Marshawn Kneeland number 3, Junior Colson number 4, TJ Tampa number 5, Peyton Wilson number 6, Javon Bullard number 7, Cedric Gray number 8, Cole Bishop number 9, Blake Fisher number 10. Then you got Chris Broswell and Trey Benson are 11 and 12, and then kind of get lost there.
Oh, they're playing that video of Zach Frazier breaking his leg. That shit takes fucking dog.
That's like a historic, like that's like.
They're like when you walk into West Virginia's locker room, it's gonna be a picture of Zach Frazier snapping his leg, and then it's gonna be a next picture of him crawling off the fucking field. That's what it means to be a Mountaineer. All right, Colts pick is in.
Yeah.
They took Latu 15th overall in the first round. Surprised everybody, I think.
Yeah.
Not mad at it, especially Hefe and I.
I'm ready for this one, man.
Trying to think. This could be TJ Tampa. That's who I'm gonna go with. If I had to pick one, I think TJ.
Yeah, because they actually
that'd be a great pick for them.
They were mocked corner a lot in the first round, and they ended up going
like
Latu instead.
To get TJ would be.
That one was kind of shocking a little bit.
Well, RIP to them if they take Ennis Rakestraw. Put that pick in a coffin, baby.
Is the pick in on your end, Klotzy?
Not yet. They're playing Zach Frazier wrestling highlights.
I'm just I
good over there, Jeff.
Yep, just posting. I was posting a short on our YouTube.
You got me a little worried.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it. I was just handling some stuff while you guys were talking, taking care of some stuff. I don't want people to think I was like disengaged. I was just taking care of something for our YouTube.
All
but
right.
I'm back.
If you do that again, I'm
back.
gonna drive over to your
listening.
house while we're live, and I'm gonna tackle you.
No, don't do that.
That sounds very.
I mean, by the time I get to your house, the stream will probably be over too. By the way, so
I am a little upset though because
Why?
Zach Frazier's off the board.
I know. I felt bad. I had to announce that.
All right.
Can I announce this Colts pick? How far are we?
Give it till his graphics off.
I'm shaking over here right now.
Damn it, Zach.
It's all right, brother. This is why I'm a little. I'll wait till after this pick, and then I'll discuss my.
You start preaching.
Yeah,
I'll start. Hit it, Hefe.
All right, with the 52nd pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts get an absolute steal and get wide receiver out of Texas, Adonai Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think they would get him because Pittman's kind of a lot like him.
Yeah, but you're just adding another weapon on a rookie deal, man. You're adding a weapon on a rookie deal with Anthony Richardson. This is all right. So let me tell you guys what I was going to go on about here real quick. and I'm a trust Brad Holmes guy, so I'm not. This isn't me complaining. This is just a little vent session here. We were 10 picks away, right? Let's say 10 to 13 picks away from our pick. Yep. You had a Donnie Mitchell, who at times was a projected first-round pick. Zach Frazier, who at times projected first-round pick. Mike Sainristil, who people said could sneak into the first round. Chris Jenkins, who was one of the best defensive tackles in this draft. And I'll stop there at that point. Just those kind of 5 guys are guys who you could say that we had on the Lions board. Little disappointed. I would really like them to trade up to go after one of those guys.
Yeah, but I wonder if it's Booner what we're talking about. They have so many picks next year that maybe GMs aren't valuing this year. And Brad, he's already, after 61 goes, there's not a Detroit Lions selection for 100 straight picks. So I wonder if he's almost trying to, it might not be what we want to hear just because we're doing the stream right now, but I wonder if he's trying to move back and acquire more picks so he can go get a Mason McCormick or somebody like that and a Luke McCaffrey instead of going all in on AD Mitchell. I'm with you. I said at the beginning of the show, I want them to go move up, get a Zach Frazier, Jackson Powers Johnson, somebody of that liking. But that's obviously not Brad Holmes is going to be doing.
So Klotz, or outside of that, if you do think about it, to your point, these aren't Brad Holmes guys, obviously, or he would have traded up. Maybe he, instead of wasting assets to go from 61 and moving up, whatever it is, 8 spots, maybe he's thinking, I'm going to use those assets to trade back into these rounds. Like he lost the 3rd round last night going to get Terrion. Maybe he takes those assets to get back into the 3rd round instead of using it to move up.
I'm just getting pissed off right now watching AD Mitchell film, though, dude. Like, I don't see how this guy – I don't think he's going to be, like, anywhere close to the wide receiver 1 of this draft. But if AD Mitchell was a wide receiver 3 for the Detroit Lions and you get him at 52 overall in the NFL draft, people would be jumping up and down.
Steal. Absolute steal. Yeah, I mean, they could sit there and Shift God said Braylon Trice. If you're sitting there at 60, instead of wasting draft capital to move up from 61, if you get a decent Isaac or Braylon Trice at 61, Klotz, you get your edge to pair up with Hutch and have a guy like that in there, and then you can still kind of use those assets you would have used to trade up. Like I'm all in on that.
Yeah, Commanders on the clock here, Boone. So I mean, think
about
it.
Richardson has some weapons, by the way. Now. Dude.
Yeah, he's got him, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman. He's got 4 at least. Solid.
Jonathan Taylor still out of the backfield.
Yeah. Mo Alley Cox at tight end. Don't sleep.
Yeah. No, they have a solid offense.
The Commanders
solid offense.
They won Jaden Daniels, and then they just got Jerzon Newton, and then they just got who they was it
Mike Sainristil.
Mikey. It was Mikey. So they're about to pick again. They have 4 picks in the top 53. What it ended up being. So who do you think they go here?
I think you go wide receiver if I'm them. I think this is a Roman Wilson pick. I saw someone in the chat say Roman Wilson. I don't know if that meant Roman Wilson is going there, but I would say you get this is in my head, Klotzy. You got 2 guys on defense, elite guys, Jerzon Newton and Mike Sainristil. You got a quarterback. You got your franchise guy. Somehow find him a weapon. If there's a weapon in this class that you love right now that's sitting there, you take him.
Think him compared to
I've got the pick too. This is interesting. Hold on.
Wait, compared to Commanders, have they addressed offensive line? I don't think so.
No, they haven't. That's an interesting one too.
Troy Franklin sitting out there.
They should address that.
Oh my gosh.
Remember the reports that were going to pay Jonah? Never did.
Yeah.
I think they need.
Oh, stuck.
I kind of if we're sitting at 61 now, I'm hoping Braswell's the guy, to be honest. Him or Isaac. I should think Braswell would be there at 61.
Yeah, gotta turn this up. There we go.
And they got Bobby Wagner, so maybe they go linebacker here to have somebody develop behind him.
They got to protect Jaden Daniels, man.
Yeah, I just like who's left. Hayes,
Roger Rosengarten.
That'd be a good pick for them.
Yeah.
Blake Fisher. Kingsley.
Yeah.
Sumatai.
There's some good offensive linemen. They should take an offensive lineman.
Do you know what I'm going to do with myself real quick, guys? I'm going to prepare myself for an offensive lineman at 61.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smart thing to do. I don't think it's going to be the most exciting thing, but it'll be like a pick you can't be mad at.
Oh, yeah, no, it's smart. Very smart.
What's the Zach Frazier thing? I just forgot about it, but I think I'm going to prepare myself for that. I'm going to be very disappointed, though, because, Jeff, I know you said you wanted it. I think the bigger needs, and again, I'm not a need guy, but the bigger needs is D end and a wide receiver, in my opinion.
When do you guys think the next running back goes?
So
I'm looking at
I think Blake Corman the third.
Right away. Chargers.
What team?
A high pick.
So you think third?
Mm-hmm.
Chargers pick at 69. He goes at 69.
But Cleveland, they got Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford. Could they potentially go running back?
Cleveland? No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
They always have
no, I don't.
I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah, no, I would say no. They got some money tied up in Chubb. Jerome played well for him, so I would say no.
Because they could go all. Their defense is pretty much fucking set. They could use a linebacker.
If the Lions don't go offensive line, I mean, they still got. I like Zinner late. I still like the pick if you're taking a guard later in the draft.
It'd be for depth reason. He's not playing week 1 anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah, Commanders draft's nasty. Usually we're making fun of the Commanders at this point. Brought in Mariota too. Do you think Mariota's going to take the first snaps, or do you think Jay Daniels goes week 1?
Jaden Daniels. I think a lot of these quarterbacks are going to play right away. The only one that might not is
Penix, obviously.
Drake May. No, I think JJ. I think Penix and JJ. I think Penix and Drake May are the two that might not week 1.
I think about to say Penix and JJ are going to start week 1. I'm like, bro,
I think JJ has a chance. No, I do think JJ has his chance to.
Hit that chime.
All right. With the 53rd pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select tight end Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State. He's the second-ranked tight end left on the board here. He's the first tight end off the board in the NFL Draft.
All right. Well, I mean, Jaden Daniels is probably happy with that. I don't know if I'm taking a tight end if I'm the Commanders here in round 2 when there's some of the players available, but that's probably their guy. It's probably their guy. Everybody's chasing that Laporta comp.
Well,
that's what it's going to be.
When you drafted the way you did the first 3 picks, I think you're allowed to do that.
Yeah. Good point too, Boone.
You're allowed to go get your guy. A lot of people try to be Brad Holmes.
Real quick, for people tuning in, because we do have a good amount of people in here. Thank you for choosing us. If you are not subscribed, we're about 50 away ish from 6,000 subscribers.
Hit that sub.
That's big time. So please tell a friend. And thank you guys for choosing us. We'll be going live throughout the entire second and third round. Hopefully the Lions make more than just one selection.
Either way, tomorrow we'll be live, and they're making a lot tomorrow.
It'll be fun. So appreciate you guys for tuning in here.
Browns are on the clock.
Yeah, this is Klotzy. This is a you. This is a you one.
This is a me pick?
Yeah. This is a Klotzy pick.
All right. Take that into account. Ooh, they're talking about moving off of Greg Newsome. Maybe this is TJ Tampa. Could be. Having with Denzel Ward. Louis Riddick. Football Lord.
What in the world?
That tight end pick just surprises me.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that. Jesus Christ. I just saw the graphic where it's Kevin Stefanski, AP Coach of the Year, number 2, 2024. Fucking gross. The fact he has 2 Coach of the Years is just disgraceful to the game of football. But already have to hit that chime, Booner. Get us ready.
All right. With the 54th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns are selecting defensive tackle Mike Hall out of the Ohio State University.
OH. What are they getting in Mike Hall, Lucas? What are they getting in Mike Hall?
They're getting a guy that he's gonna be plugging those run gaps. He's commanding a double team just based off his size, his presence. They like taking those Buckeyes after round 1. They usually pan out for him. So good pick for Cleveland. I think you let him kind of start as a rotational piece.
And he forever stays a
Carl Nassib doing this pick. Legendary defensive end for the Browns, Carl Nassib. Anyway.
Did he play for the Browns?
Yeah, he was the first openly gay NFL player, Booner. But anyways,
I know that, but I'm saying, I didn't know he played for the Browns. I thought he played for like some different.
Yeah, that's where his big.
No. He played for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Raiders was the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Defensive end.
Dude, like,
And he played for the Bucks. He has a Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure.
I hate Browns fans.
Yeah,
I
Browns
do.
fans, the Browns in general. I mean, they picked that quick. They had him quick. They probably know so much about him though, being in the state of Ohio. I mean, Klotz, you probably can go outside right now and probably hear like people shooting fireworks and gunshots off that Ohio State guy got finally drafted in the first couple rounds.
Another Buckeye off the board. Dude, how this year's draft is with Michigan players is how next year's going to be with Ohio State players. There's going to be so many Ohio State players coming out next year.
I forgot Marvin Harrison, by the way. That's on me. Hand up.
Another thing is they took that tight end, and obviously we don't know too much about him, but Cade Stover was on the board, Ohio State's tight end, and he's pretty good.
I was just talking about him, Gentry. Very solid, very fine tight end. A guy that's kind of slipping to the cracks. That's like a Dallas tight end or Dallas Cowboys tight end, Cade Stover.
That reminds me, boys, I said something wrong here, and I have to publicly apologize. I really apologize. I said the kid from Kansas State was the first tight end off the board. I forgot all about Brock Bowers. I look at Brock Bowers as an absolute weapon of a football player.
Yeah.
So I don't really look at him as a tight end. I don't know if that counts.
He is the closest thing to a wide receiver. I mean, at this point, they're all the same. They're just pass catchers.
Him and I were both just absolute weapons.
Same. They're all the same, Gentry or Jeff? Sam Laporta is cut from a different cloth, my friend.
Well, they're not like him. Same. He's the new mold tight end. He's just like a weapon. I mean, I hate even. It's like a wide receiver with the duties of a tight end.
It's fair.
Okay.
Fair.
All right.
Calvin Benjamin of the world.
Came to an agreement there. Yeah, we came. There you go.
Miami on the clock. They didn't go. A lot of people are saying they'd go Xavier Worthy. Didn't do that. But I look at our boy Malachi Corley.
Took your boy Chop.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Fucking gross.
The Dolphins. This is interesting. This is I think the first pick that I just don't have anything on, guys.
The Dolphins.
I feel like they're gonna trade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like they're gonna trade.
I'm gonna say Malachi Corley here, Hefe, or Troy Franklin.
Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe, just maybe. Corner.
Could be TJ Tampa here. They took who do we like out of South Carolina last year? The Cam Smith. Is that his name?
Yes. He's far down on their depth chart.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that one's aging, but
they could use another one after Xavier leaving.
Yeah, and they got Fuller, but he's on a short. I don't know if he's on a long-term deal.
Go ahead, hit that chime.
Let's do it.
I don't have a. Oh, I got it right here. The Dolphins with the 55th overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft select tackle Patrick Paul out of Houston.
Okay.
That was a buzzer beater for me because I had nothing when you said that.
I mean, that was the
first time
Armstead and Austin Jackson. I don't know if they can.
Armstead just always hurt, and he's getting older though.
That could be the point right there.
So that let him develop. That boy's 6'7", 331 pounds. That's a big man.
And let me tell you about Patrick Paul real quick, okay? GMs who met with him love him.
Yeah, this dude looks huge.
Yeah, I was reading some stuff on him that just his athleticism, he's humongous, like 6'7", 300 pounds.
God.
I mean, he was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. So massive
dude.
Yeah, he looks like Orlando Brown coming out.
He's
of
a sleeper. I'm with that guy up north. Definitely a sleeper there.
The fun fact they have up here is wingspan is 86 3/4 of an inches, or 86 inches and three quarters. Guys bigger than LeBron James, they said. Or Jeff, any comment?
Probably not longer than Jordan's.
Okay.
Or Kobe.
How big Shaq's hands?
How about that, brother? Oh, sorry, Jeff doesn't like that anymore. I apologize.
Why do we ship this conversation to Shaq?
Just saying, on LeBron hand size, we'll just go to Shaq.
Deflecting.
Yeah, Patrick Paul. I'm excited. I started reading on him. It was random. I saw some news on him and people talking about him, and a lot of people felt like he could go higher in the draft, and he's just look at there you have it, second round pick. Like,
take him over J.C. Latham.
Well, you know what?
That's you were fighting for that man in the top 10, Jeff.
Hey, no, I'm kidding. In all seriousness, though, Patrick Paul for a second rounder, yeah.
Cowboys are really going all in here. 56 overall. There's 3 minutes left on the clock, and they don't even know who the fuck they're taking.
Yeah, I don't know who the Cowboys would pick here, to be honest.
All in Jerry World. Did you guys see Micah Parsons' reaction to them taking? Who was the tackle that they took? Did they take Tyler Guyton?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
You see the reaction to Micah Parsons' reaction?
Yeah, we
Bro,
watched. I saw that. Yeah. He was.
What do they do here? Actually, like honestly, their secondary is fine, correct? They don't need.
You trade it for a fucking player.
I'm getting.
You go pick up Brandon Ayuk right now if I'm them.
Ooh.
Debo.
Can I interest you in T. Higgins?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I wouldn't want to because I fucking hate the Cowboys, but that's a great option for them. The problem is they don't have the money to extend T. They got to pay Dak $60 million and re-sign CD.
Yeah. Got to look at the Death Star right now, Jerry.
It is kind of look at the Death Star type of vibes.
Hey, Clowncopter said, "Did you see how much Neighbors is hating New York Giants already?"
I said that yesterday. Oh, sorry.
No. I was gonna tell you. You see the clip of him at the podium when it was like, how much do you know of Daniel Jones? Is he a good quarterback? And he called him Daniel Dones. I think he said. He said like
no.
I don't know. He like met. I don't know. It sounded like he said Daniel Dones. He swapped the first letter of his first and last name. It was weird.
I can't tell. I don't know if you guys have the Cowboys war room up. They're like laughing, talking to each other. They have 2 minutes left. There's not a pick in it. I don't know if they're looking for a trade. It's like, do you guys remember when they were there was a war room video of them that one time, and they were between two guys, and they took until like 5 seconds left to call it in. I feel like that's what's happening right now. They're just showing live in the war. They're calling
Jerry.
someone. Someone picked up a phone. Are they trading or are they calling in a pick?
I feel like it's got to be a trade at this point.
Hey, fun fact.
Imagine if they went Roman Wilson. Oh my God.
Washington tight end that got drafted, the dude from Kansas State. He was a defenseman. He played hockey, and he just was drilling people. He just hits people. There's a clip on Twitter of him just injuring everyone.
That's the Gentry player of the draft so far.
I like him.
All right, the pick is in.
Pretty guy.
Yeah, I have nothing over here too.
I'm gonna go. If I had to make a pick, they're gonna go the running back from Tennessee. I can't think of his name. I think his name is like Jalen Wright or something.
Yep, Jalen Wright. Yep.
Hey Jeff, I'm interested to see where your guy goes from Wisconsin. I've got the pick. Ready? Just play it now because I hope Adam Baydoun's in the chat right now. But with the 56th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys are selecting Marshawn Kneeland. Defense.
Good, bro. Good. Take him off the board.
I don't care if he's good or bad. I don't care if he's good or bad ever. It was just funny. Adam's like,
they went down to a minute left. They're all in by taking Tyler Guyton and Marshawn Kneeland and not signing a soul in free agency that amounts to anything really.
What an interesting draft from the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm not a huge that one didn't make much sense. That's Cowboys. That's on brand. It's
Marcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons.
First defensive end taken after Darius Robinson.
Ooh.
That's crazy to think about.
That's an interesting pick. They did just lose a couple of their DNs. I think one to the Vikings and the other to the Commanders, I believe. Correct? Remember the guys that we talked about?
You are correct.
This isn't like a crazy piece that they do need, but they still have some edges. They just love their defense, dude. They love that. They need to keep that defensive line in.
And it's just like what doesn't make sense to me is like you're right, Booner. They did lose pieces, but they still have Micah Parsons. They still have DeMarcus Lawrence, and they still have Sam Williams out of Ole Miss, who they took like 2 years ago, I believe it was. Who's not anything crazy, but he's fine. I just look at it, bro. It's like their offense is so one-dimensional with CeeDee Lamb right now. It's feed CeeDee Lamb and then figure it out as you go on. When you got a quarterback like Dak Prescott, I mean, if you think of Jared Goff, like we look at Jared Goff, if Jared Goff needed a running back or another wide receiver and you took Marshawn Kneeland, how upset would you be as a Lions fan in the second round? It'd be disgusting. Could go offensive line as well. The interior of it.
Yeah, so Lions, man, are kind of sneaking up here. All right. Kind of sneaking up here.
4 picks, 5 picks.
Yeah. It's getting closer and closer.
Trying to think Tampa Bay.
At this point, unless they trade back, I think Brad's staying put.
He wants a Disa.
He's just come on.
Keep
falling.
What about Chris Braswell?
Yeah, that's you, Gentry. I thought those guys are same tier to me.
All right.
Oh my gosh! This is fake. This has to be fake. No, this is real. I've got breaking news, and this is ugly. Ugly. Caleb Williams will wear number 18 for the Bears.
Ugh, that is ugly.
That's like that's a receiver number.
That's Peyton Manning's number 2, but okay.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, I just don't like the number.
18 is like a weird number though. Like it's just maybe just a Peyton guy.
Like with numbers. You guys are weird.
You just love this guy, dude.
Yeah.
Jeff got offended.
It's like, what are we doing?
Dude, what do we me and you made
I don't
deal.
like 16. 16 is kind of
cheer.
weird. 16 looks
Jeff.
like a receiver number.
Yeah, it's my number, Jeff.
Oh.
Jeff's gonna be sad when we're playing the Bears and the Caleb Williams gets sacked. He's gonna make sure he's okay. Run out there.
No.
Tampa Bay on the clock. Booner, what's the bad news?
Bad news. Do you guys? When I get bad news, I want to announce it to you guys so bad. I want to do it. I'm a man of the people. The people don't want me to do it. I won't do it. But by the way, Jeff, too, I told you I will not cheer and cheer for JJ McCarthy and hope his career goes well. And I would love to die on the hill and be wrong. Is wrong about JJ McCarthy because he's in the NFC North. We made a deal that you would do the same thing for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, of course.
Don't stick up for number 18.
No, I think that my thing was not with Caleb. It was about the numbers.
All right.
People are obsessed with numbers.
I'm just going to say this one just because we just had this conversation with the 57th overall pick of the 2024 NFL draft. Can we get the sound, Jeff?
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers add an absolute weapon, defensive end Chris Braswell.
Damn.
That's a weapon, dude. I think he's going wide receiver when you said weapon.
Yeah,
I'm smart over here. I know what I'm doing. I'm strategic, brother.
That's
I had to say it quick though because Gentry literally was like, "I want Braswell." Is it Braswell or Braswell? Who will know? We'll never know. So Klotzy,
who knows? We will never know.
3 picks now. 3 teams are left in front of the Detroit Lions, and there's still Adisa Isaac and Braylon Trice. So there's a chance one of those two. And I think there's a chance you can. And Corey Hall put it in there. Would you guys hate if we traded back?
No, I wouldn't hate it. I don't prefer it.
They don't pick back. Add another third. Give up a 4th next year and get 2 picks in tonight's draft.
They don't pick for another 100 picks.
What do you think they go wide receiver here, fellas? What is your reaction?
I would prefer.
Don't you bring me Troy Franklin? You can't do that to me. You can't put Troy Franklin on this roster. You can't do that, Brad.
We're our boy
the deep threat on the outside.
John Bender said it in the chat.
What?
Cooper Beebe's still on the board.
Yeah, offensive line. This is the
Roman Wilson, fellas.
61. Offensive line at 61. Please, Brad.
Jeff, no.
What do you want, Jeff?
We need defense.
Offensive line.
Need defense. All right, Jeff. Can I talk to you about this real quick?
One injury.
Jeff.
You're panicking.
Jeff, let me talk. No, we're not. We're not. Can I talk to you about this?
Who? All right, tell me.
I think the offensive line, if it was JPJ, Zach Frazier, or one of these guys that were in the first round, I think that we can say, okay, now we have a guy that we're going to build for the future. I think at this point, an offensive lineman isn't going to, you're not going to say, maybe it's a guy that if he gets hurt, you're going to go down, but that's going to be a kind of a project guy. It's not a guy that if someone goes down.
Project guy, dude, it's the 2nd round.
All right, who would you want then?
Cooper Beebe. You go with him? You got any of the top? You can go with a tackle. Taylor Decker's
when you say
contract's
Cooper,
about
when
to
you
be
say
up.
Cooper Bebe, you really get me. I do like I like Cooper Bebe. I'm a fan.
I hate you.
I'm a Cooper
You
Bebe
could go.
fan.
You can go guard, tackle. Decker's contract is almost up.
I think defensive end is way more of a need at the moment.
Well,
the Packers
injury,
are on the clock, dude.
We're in a tough situation, so I might need some depth. That's where I'm at with it. That's how most teams are. Usually one injury away on the offensive line, but with this team, how important the offensive line is, you got to bring some depth. So that's my preferred pick at 61. I said it before the draft, and I'm standing on business. Staying on business. Even though Zach Frazier and JPJ are gone.
I know something.
Not to get too off topic, but Lucas, we didn't really talk about it yesterday because it was one of the last picks, and I seen Adam bring it up. How do you feel about Ricky going to San Fran?
Dude, I know it probably surprises people, but Ricky Pearsall is probably one of the better wide receivers. And if they're moving off of Ayuk or Debo, he's not the same size as frame of what they do, but Ricky Pearsall is a guy that is not afraid to get any ball when it's in the air. He's 6'1". People act like he's 5'10" or something like that. Great route runner, great hands, great after the catch. In open space, he's going to be hard to tackle. I think if you're looking at Kyle Shanahan, what he does, Ricky Pearsall fits, and he's going to be one of those guys that people are going to start to build a culture around because he's just one of those players, in my opinion. He has that ultimate edge on his shoulder playing wide receiver, and he's never had really any good quarterback play. So now you're going to Kyle Shanahan, which is like the quarterback-proof system. I think he's going to have a lot of success there, and people are going to know about Ricky Pearsall in year one.
And yeah, Booner kind of brought it up earlier, like Brandon Ayuk being traded and Debo Samuel. I saw there was like a report yesterday, and someone brought it up at bookies that they were going to trade one of those wide receivers, and then they still haven't, and then they draft Ricky in the first round. So, I mean, I like the pick, but still some confusing stuff going on with them.
If they don't move off of him, like that's fine. They're going to have to move off of one of them eventually, and Debo's probably going to start hitting a drastic decline here soon just with all the injuries. And just how he plays, you're not going to be able to use him the same way. So if they ship him off, probably be only for like a third-round pick. You can probably get a second or a late first, but they're not going to do it anymore.
Real quick, before we get closer to the Lions pick, because I want to start making my case here for offensive line. I don't know what the Bucs are going to do here.
They want Braswell, remember?
Oh, Braswell. Okay, excuse me.
Yep.
It didn't refresh. Who's up then?
So then it goes Packers, Houston.
Okay. The Packers then. So the Lions are 4 picks away, essentially. I don't know what the Packers are going to do, the Texans are going to do, and the Bills. But I'll tell you this. Roger Rosengarten, Kingsley, Cooper Bebe. There's some intriguing offensive linemen here.
Okay. I hear you.
The dream is still alive.
Not having that third-round pick changes everything.
Now, if you trade back, I'm still okay with it. But my preference... You take the best offensive lineman at 61. I can sleep good tonight. Now tomorrow, you're gonna wait a little bit. Got about 100 picks. But we'll see. Offensive line, please. Bro.
I just look. I mean, Braswell just went. Who's the defensive end who just went before him? I'm brain farting. Well, like 3 picks ago. Kneeland just went. I think there's gonna be a run on defensive ends. If you're the next 3 picks and you can go get a Jonah Ellis or Adisa Isaac, that's who I'm doing at this point. That's what I'm doing. I think that's the BPA as well. I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Adisa Isaac, actually.
Maybe you take TJ Tampa, but that's not what you want. Like the BPA, you could do it, but I don't think that makes much sense. Troy Franklin, please no. Roman Wilson, I'm all for as well. If they take Roman Wilson at 61, smile on my face, I'd be happy with it, but I'm going to Adisa Isaac or Jonah Ellis.
What's going on, Booner?
Can you press the button?
Yeah, go ahead, hit it.
I feel like I'm in it. 2024 NFL draft. The Green Bay Packers select safety Javon Bullard out of Georgia. They have that. They killed the second round. They got Edgerrin Cooper and Javon Bullard.
Oh
yeah, that's physical.
That's why I'm over. That's not good. Not good. This Packers defense is starting.
They still need some corners. I mean, they're good players.
Problem.
But
yeah.
I mean, they're just
Kitchens
adding pieces.
More fear into my eyes, but you know what?
I know, but that's a good pick, dude. That's a guy that started on I believe a national championship team, correct? Like he was there for.
He's not.
He's a very good player.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh my gosh. But I'm going to throw this out there though for the Lions pick. I'm with Klotz. I would like an edge rusher. It's for me. It's edge rusher or kind of. I'm gonna split between you both of you guys here. Actually, I'm gonna say this: trade back. What Jeff said. Trade back because you could trade back and get Cooper Beebe in 20-30 picks, and then you could still potentially get a Braylon Trice or a Adisa Isaac, and you can go out and get a guy that you wanted, or if you wanted another weapon, there's weapons that are going to fall. Like, guys are starting to fall a little bit here. We didn't think some of these guys, I think, in my opinion, would be available, like Adisa Isaac at 61. I think you do try and add some assets here. You saw towards the front of this round, teams were willing to trade and give picks up. If you can add a third-round pick, move back and just to get 2 third-round picks instead of a second here, and just hope that some of the guys you have there are still available, I'm in on that.
Go hit that chime, Hefe, for Houston.
Houston, are we on the clock after this?
Oh, no, Buffalo is.
The 59th overall pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans are selecting tackle Blake Fisher.
So now they protect CJ.
Yep. So they were planning on that all along, I'm sure.
All right, now, boys, it's going to get cooking. Buffalo's on the clock.
Here we go. Come on.
So they took did they take Lat?
Who?
Or no, they took Keon. They took Keon.
Yeah.
I would imagine they go defense here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd imagine with losing Tre'Davious White and somehow with TJ Tampa staying there, that this is where you go. Maybe you take a Cam Kitchens because they did also lose Jordan Poyer.
Yeah, Cam Kitchens would be it.
I feel like they lost a linebacker.
Interesting. This is interesting. I love our chat. I'm shutting them off just so I can on our end.
Yeah, we don't want to get a
spoiler. Let me know. I'm gonna have the pick before you guys, so just let me know when you guys are ready, and I'll hit it.
Okay.
I'll hit it.
All right, Bill's pick is in. So Brad's cooking right now. Brad's starting to cook. Bill's pick is in. They're about to be announced in a second.
Cheers, fellas. Let's have one.
Cheers,
Let's to the future, baby. To the future.
The future. What if the Bills get fucking? What if
at least I'm a safe distance from Booner? I won't be the Kool-Aid.
I'm not doing Kool-Aid dumps here, man. I'm not doing all that. I'm at home here. Yeah, my family's upstairs. They would be like, "What? Like, what's going on down there?" Can't do that.
He's just dumping Kool-Aid on himself. Yeah,
I've got the Bills pick. Do you guys just want to get the Bills out of the way here before? I know some people probably have it.
Yeah, let's just hit the chime. Let's just.
With the 60th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills are drafting safety Cole Bishop out of Utah.
We talked about him at the combine, Hefe.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's a good safety. Yeah. I wouldn't take him over Cam Kitchens.
I'm so nervous.
But now I'm looking at this board, fellas. Adisa Isaac and Roman Wilson are my top 2. Those are my top 2. Mohamed Kamara has now just entered Mel's top 5.
Give me Adisa Isaac. Give me Adisa Isaac or Roman Wilson. One of those two.
We're locked up.
Cooper Beebe or Adisa Isaac.
Give me one of those two. Give me the weapon or give me the edge.
Give me offensive lineman.
Do something.
Can I interest you?
Cooper Beebe.
Or I'll go with Adisa Isaac. I'm comfortable with that.
There we go. There we go. I don't know what I was gonna call.
I like Adisa Isaac. He was in my most recent mock draft. I like him.
I almost said Klotzy and Jeff all in one.
Could I interest you in a Will Reichert? A Harrison Mevis here.
Oh, don't talk
about it. Kicker in the second round, chat. Would you be okay with Brad Holmes taking a kicker in the second round?
Oh my gosh, I'm refreshing over here, boys. I'll message you guys privately when I have the pick, and then
I'm not even gonna look. I'm gonna let the Raj say it.
Who's that?
Give me. I think Roger Rosengarten, Cooper Beebe.
I'll say it out loud, Klotzy. I'll say it out loud right before, so the reaction for the people, we can get that all at once instead of separately.
Fine. Do it your way.
Fine.
Do you see it, Booner?
Oh, I do. Yep.
You know who it is?
Yes.
I don't. You don't like it. You don't like it. Booner doesn't like it.
Tell me who it is. All right, ready?
Oh no.
No. The Detroit Lions select with the 61st overall pick. The Jeff just did the chime.
Oh, don't say it.
This.
Don't say it yet. The Bills. Roger hasn't even went up for the Bills yet.
I hate this.
Oh, no.
You know, and don't overreact, Booner. Brad Holmes. I love Brad Holmes. Don't forget, trust in Brad Holmes.
I'm interested.
Not a fan.
Everyone shut the chat off. The guys
I
in the
still
room.
believe, but not a fan.
See, wait. Mike saw it now. See, we're hitting it on different.
Yeah, can I just say it, or I don't want to do it to the people.
I want to hear it when
with the
with the
61st pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions have selected corner Ennis Rakestraw Jr. out of Missouri.
No.
I broke my mic. I broke my mic stand. I broke my mic stand.
I mean, I like it because you're doubling down on a big weakness in the secondary, but you had one of the best offensive linemen.
A lot of people love it,
and you still needed an edge. But
Ennis Rakestraw wasn't a guy that at least our crew here on our show thought was.
I'm not too thrilled with it.
We got to see him
whatsoever. I'm not.
We saw him in
Indy. Maybe the fact that they're going to just try to stick him on the inside just because he is physical and he's aggressive. But I would have much rather address the edge there because now you have 100 picks and you're looking at Marcus Davenport and James Houston rotating off the edge. I understand DJ Reader's in there, which is going to help things out a lot. But Ennis Rakestraw, I mean, TJ Tampa's still on the board there. There's probably a couple other corners that you can go through before that. I just have not been an Ennis Rakestraw fan. It's just he's good against the run. So maybe this is one of those players that we see move to safety when they get when he gets a little bit through more his progression. I don't know. But it's not the worst pick. But like we all said, it's nothing that I'm jumping up and down for.
Yeah, to me, it's the corner. You just drafted a corner with the 20. You traded up a bunch of assets to go get a corner. Is he gonna? You can't play everyone, so yeah, you can maybe move some guys around. But I get the BPA with Brad. I get it, and I've been the guy preaching it. I would have just loved to seen an edge rusher or a wide receiver or an offensive lineman somewhere where we need this need. We just took a corner.
Yeah.
And his Rakestraw thing, I get, and I see where the people are coming from. That some people don't hate the pick because it's a guy that was projected top 40 and he ends up falling all the way down to 61 and you get him. I get that. But when you look at, you just got one of the best corner in the draft, Terrion Arnold, and you have other needs. Again, it's a Brad Holmes guy, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do it, but I'm going to.
Okay. This is where I'm at with it. All right. Got to process it. We're live. So this is, of course, like different emotions here. When you sit down and you envision this secondary, you think about it and you're like, wow, the secondary was so bad, specifically at corner last year. He didn't trade back. Who knows? He could trade into the third round or he could make some moves to get another pick, but they don't pick for 100 picks. So the first two selections would be corners. I understand this. I do. Maybe we're not huge fans of Rakestraw, but clearly there's something they see in Rakestraw. Again, you mentioned the physicality, the size. He's going to be able to play on the outside. Emmanuel Mosley's coming off a bad injury, so now you got Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold. You got Rakestraw in there. I mean, you need some more bodies. Amik Robertson, who's not the biggest physically imposing guy. They mentioned earlier, too, that they want to move Brian Branch back to safety or at least play him more at safety, give him more run there. So you got some more corners, secondary, a little interchangeable. I get it. I understand it. Even if you don't like the player, I get the thought process. And we'll see. I mean, Rakestraw didn't have production at college, much production, but still look at the upside there. Clearly, Brad sees upside. So. And like Stephen Clark just said, Carlton Davis is a free agent next year. So building the secondary out for the future. I get it. I understand the pick.
I mean, I get it. You double down on corner, like Jeff said, one of your biggest needs. But you don't pick for a while now. So the only question I have to you guys, are you going to trade down? Like, there was some good offensive linemen there. There was a few edge rushers. If you wait till I think you pick at 164 next, I mean, I don't know what you're going to get there. So, I mean, I could definitely see them trading down now. I don't hate the pick that much because, like you said, it's such a big need. It's just now you don't pick for a while, and what are you going to do at this point? So,
yeah, guys, I don't want to. I want to make this not. I think the positives we can take out of this, if we're looking at what Brad's doing, I just in the back of my head right now, fellas, all I hear is D-Mac being like, Booner, trust in Brad. So I'm going to sit here and try and find a positive out of it. And I'm going to say this: I'm going to go all in on Ennis Rakestraw Jr. going forward, and I think now it's just depth of this corner position. Carlton Davis, you traded for him. He hasn't signed an extension yet. He's on a 1-year deal. Amik Robertson, we don't know what he's going to be yet here in Detroit, so we need to see that. You just added 2 corners. I think we can all agree the biggest need outside of maybe D-end on that defense was corners. So they went and got 2 dudes. It is shocking, yes, to see corner. I don't know how often that even happens. And I guess the Eagles did the same thing. So the Eagles went and got 2 corners, and we went and got 2 corners to kind of boost that up. So I do think Brad, there's 2 things. One, that was our biggest need was corner. And number 2, now you really know that Brad just goes BPA and he goes best player because he just went back to back at the same position in this draft. So now we know Brad, he stands on business. And if he loves a guy, he's going to take a guy no matter what you have. And you know what? Guess what, fellas? More competition, beat each other out. That makes you guys better. That makes guys better. That's what happened with CJ Gardner-Johnson and Brian Branch last year in training camp when Brian Branch took his spot and they had to move CJ. Go in there, go make each other better. I'm in on it. Ennis Rakestraw was a top 40 guy, and we just got him at 61. So let's just look at the positives of it. We did get a player that we hated at 29. Our crew here did not like that at 29. At 61, I think we can come together and say, hey, this is actually a decent pick at 61.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But then I just look and, like, the next pick is Roger Rosengardner. It's just one of those things where it's like, I agree that corner was our biggest weakness last season. But you've added Carlton Davis, you added Meek Robertson, now you added Terrion Arnold. So I just more so – it's not about Ennis Rakestraw and them taking corner. It's more so now my concern for the edge position. I think they probably have a lot more confidence in there. Maybe they have a guy they're eyeing in the back end of the draft, but at the end of the day, I think the cornerback room took a massive upgrade, but this defensive line room pretty much stayed the same compared to last year. So that's why that's why I'm not in love with the pick by any means. But I get it. He has a lot of intangibles. It's just one of those things where consistently in coverage, I'm definitely going to be worried. Not worried about him making tackles or anything like that, but I think he'll be one of those guys where it's going to be Terrion will always be the cornerback 1, and then they're going to rely on Ennis Rakestraw to be the cornerback 2 of the future. With the 2nd-round pick, that's not terrible. I just would, like I said, rather go edge.
Real quick, Devin the dog, our guy Devin, he donates $20. Thank you, Devin. He says, hey, bro, I want to thank all you guys are at crunch time. After meeting you guys gave me the confidence to reopen my company. Now I have the opportunity to send my clothes to the Detroit Lions. Proud of you guys. Let's go.
Devin.
Let's go, Devin.
I mean, are you kidding me? The Detroit Lions? I mean, shout out to Devin for that. That's big time.
Yeah,
good luck
that's
to you,
hype.
brother.
Happy for you, man.
Yeah, good dude. Devin. One of the most down-to-earth humans ever met. So shout out to you, Devin.
Bad, boys.
Much love to you.
My computer just updated out of nowhere.
It's all right, Boone. I got back here.
I want to mention this too. Okay, so Brad, his philosophy, BPA, understood. Rakestraw projected use a first rounder to many people, including Daniel Jeremiah, which I want to show his breakdown of Rakestraw, just kind of what he said about him, because he loves him. He loves Rakestraw. And kind of the point I was making earlier, I just went and checked how often Terrion Arnold played in the slot. He played a lot more, obviously, than Rakestraw in the slot at Alabama. So, again, more versatility in your secondary. And I'll pop this up on the screen here so we can kind of read it. This is Daniel Jeremiah, who is someone that I actually do respect in the drafting world. And this is what he had to say regarding Rakestraw. I think this kind of applies to what we're talking about here. He writes, Rakestraw is a rangy, fluid cornerback who plays with energy and toughness. He is physical in press coverage, and he stays attached underneath and vertically. He is a loose athlete who can flip his hips smoothly. He does a nice job staying on top of deep routes, and he can locate the ball. I'd like to see him do a better job of finishing with the ball instead of simply poking it away. He's awesome against the run. Not only is he quick to key/read, but he attacks blockers, including offensive linemen. Watch the Georgia tape from this past November to see him thud off an offensive tackle before delivering a physical stop. He is always bouncing around. His energy is palpable through the screen. Overall, players with this profile at this position traditionally translate very well at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, talk yourself. I mean, the more you read, I mean, again, based on Brad's philosophy, would I prefer an offensive lineman? Yes, but Rakestraw, I can make sense of it. I can make sense of it.
Yeah, it's just I think there was a couple players that I think we just got so we were talking about the Jackson Powers Johnsons, possibly the A.D. Mitchells of the world, possibly moving up for those, and it's just Ennis Rakestraw is a guy that we weren't falling in love with, but Brad has, so we got to acknowledge that. And I think if they do move, we already kind of said it, but if they do move Rakestraw inside, I think that does give him a lot more potential to have success in the NFL. Because Amik, smaller guy, but he still plays on the perimeter. Carlton Davis, obviously on the perimeter. I think Terrion, they plan to do the same thing with him. Terrion was a former safety. They moved to corner. Ennis Rakestraw is not that, but he kind of has that same philosophy. So you can see with both of these guys, the Detroit Lions, I mean, they used their first, they used their second now, and then they traded the third-round pick for cornerbacks. So they've went full on in this offseason with the cornerback position. So we can't be too upset that that's what they're doing, because at the end of the day, we saw a ball go off the face mask of Kendall Vildor, which turned the tide in the NFC Championship game. So we can't be too mad at it.
I want to throw this out there too. We've been talking about this. Do you remember when Brad Holmes addressed the media? I think it was during the NFL meetings, and he mentioned how and this is where I think as a crew we are, and a lot of fans too, didn't think he was going to go corner, because he came out and said he's kind of a corner savant, and he loves breaking corners down. And that's when he was in LA, that was kind of his go-to thing, was he loves going, finding corners. And he said this year, he said, hey, I don't know, like, if I see a guy, I know that's a dude. And now you look back at him talking about corners like that, and he's gone back to back here in the first and second round with corners. So he obviously, if you want to sit there and say, like, he knows what he's doing when it comes to these corners here. We haven't seen him take a corner this early at all. We haven't seen this yet. And he came out publicly and said that this is the position that he feels most confident in, and breaking down and watching the film. And when he finds a guy, he knows he has that guy. So I do trust that a little bit more, thinking back to that press conference.
Man, I did want to bring something up. Scott, our boy, we had him on the first week we had Scott on. The first cornerback he did bring up was Ennis Rakestraw. And I did want to bring up the last pick. The Chiefs picked Penei Sewell's cousin out of BYU with their last pick. So he just went off the board, another offensive lineman right after.
Yeah, so both the tackles at the Lions, or not, I think the Lions, they did meet with Rosengarten too. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but they met with Kingsley. So both the tackles they met with there. It's going to be a minute, boys. It's going to be a minute till the Lions are back on the clock. So it's just more time for us to accept that Ennis Rakestraw is a Detroit Lion. I don't think any of us are pissed, but I don't think any of us are jumping up and down like we said.
You're muted, Jeff.
Muted, Hefe.
I was going to say, you can think about it this way too. The Ravens and the Chiefs, they do need corners. They go offensive line. So if Rakestraw was there, could it be different?
Maybe.
I think Rakestraw, I think there is value there. However you think about the player, it's a first round projected player. So I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. And again, Emmanuel Mosley's not here long term. He's coming off a severe injury. Carlton Davis isn't signed here long term. He's got 1 year left. So when you talk about building for the future in drafting good football players, Brad kind of did both of those in one pick. You're doubling up in corner. This corner room, no one's locked down long term. So I understand the pick. Like, screw with the prospect. I get it. I understand it. And I don't, despite I wanted an offensive lineman, I'm comfortable with it. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. But I get the edge thing. I mean, I do. I get edge. I get offensive lineman. I do. I know they don't pick for another 100 picks. So maybe he felt like for corner, he's just Ennis Rakestraw. The value there was just too good to turn away. He's probably wasn't. No, go on.
One of those things too that, like, I know there's a couple of people commenting. It's like, turn on the highlights. Like, if you watch the highlights, like, the highlights do look good with him. It has nothing. I'll say it again. When it comes to Ennis Rakestraw, it has nothing to do with the tackling. I think that's why the Lions love him, because he's going to help out and run support. But when you had to watch when he was on an island with the number one receivers in college football, he did struggle in man coverage. He is a very aggressive corner, so he did draw penalties. He did also have Chris Abrams drain on the other side of him, so he wasn't having to be taking on this whole challenge the whole time. He was helped out there. So that's why it's like I'm not in love with the pick. And I think it's perfectly okay. This is those moments, guys, where I think it's always trust Brad Holmes. He's proven you should always trust him. But when you're reacting and breaking these things down, you're allowed to have your own opinions on this. So if you're not in love with the pick, you're allowed to say that without being, oh, you know more than Brad Holmes. It's like, no, this is just not my personal preference of a pick, just because there's other players that I think could have succeeded in year one more than that. I don't think Ennis Rakestraw is a guy that the Lions plan on having out there making a significant impact in year one. And I just wish that they would have went out and did that, but I could be wrong.
Couldn't have said it better, Klotzy.
Yeah, a clear weakness on the team was corner.
Yeah.
And you double up on that. Not that he's drafting just for needs, but you draft two guys that are good football players. Brad thinks are good football players, and they do address positions in need at the same time. Like they do need corners. I know doubling up is not usually people's favorite thing to do, but if you're going to double up on a position, let's be real, it's corner. Like that we would be corner if we're being fair here. So
yeah, especially with the Carlton Davis on a 1-year deal left. You don't know if you're going to extend him. There's just you're getting the best player at the end of the day. Even if it's a double up on corner, I'm going to stand on it. I've been on it all day. That this Brad Holmes best player available. If he thinks there's a dude, and he's going to stay with that and he's going to roll with it. So he obviously thinks Ennis Rakestraw is an absolute dude. So I'm gonna roll with it.
Yeah,
and Bernardo Green just went to the Niners.
That's why I want to bring up another corner off the board. So if Rakestraw may have slipped, you never know. The 49ers might have scooped him up and he might have went to one of your rival teams. You know?
That's the thing you'll never know. And I think that's what makes it interesting is does him being available if the Lions pass on him change things for other teams?
Oh my gosh, that's interesting.
And how high was Ennis Rakestraw on Brad Holmes' board? You know,
yeah.
Like he could have easily gotten not only his number one corner, but a top 5 corner to him or top 4, wherever he was ranked.
So do we think the next pick has to be an offensive lineman or a wide receiver or offensive lineman?
No, it could be a kicker at this point.
Oh man. And like, do you guys think they trade up at this point? I mean, they don't pick for, like I said, for like.
I don't. This is a weird draft. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think if there's someone there, if someone keeps falling, I think Brad will trade into the 3rd round. I mean, he's shown it before. He'll go get him.
The Jets just traded up for Carolina's pick too, so they're on the clock.
Who they're going with? They haven't taken an offensive player yet, have they? The Jets, as far as skill player,
lineman the first pick.
Yeah, right? Maybe this is Troy Franklin after Mike leaves. Maybe, never know. But all I know is, boys, Aaron Glenn, he's been able to run his scheme in the secondary this year. He's got so much depth in that cornerback room now. And that was the big question mark heading in the draft. So I think the number one question mark, cornerback depth, cornerback room in general, and they secured that up. And I know Terrion was kind of talking about playing for Aaron Glenn. He's really excited for it. Did you guys watch any of the Terrion post-draft interview yet?
Yeah, I watched a couple things.
Good stuff.
Yeah, he's a guy too. He just wants to be great. He just keeps talking about getting a gold jacket and winning a Super Bowl. When you hear a guy like that who wants to be great and just keep doing that, I think you got yourself the right guy.
Let's get to some super chats here. The Purple Prince, thank you for the $5. Just think how close Hutch was to getting to a ton of sacks last year. These corners will give him that extra second and extra sacks. Thank you for the donation, Purple Prince.
Appreciate it, man.
501st Legion, thank you for the $5. Says it tells me that they are plenty comfortable at wide receiver. It also allows them to be creative at safety. True.
Yeah.
Saga, true. Thank you for the $20. We appreciate you. He says, I'm more so curious as to why Brad made this choice. After all, he did say that there are things that we outside the building will never know and can't know. Amon-Ra is our guy, and look at him now. Brad knows the vision. Yeah, I mean, the wide receiver influx in the NFC North with all the talent, and they're doubling up on corner. So not that he's doing that because of that, but hey, it definitely helps.
That's true. We kind of had a little bit of the conversation earlier, Jeff, and I think this is perfect for the guys like the Roma Dunze. We laughed at him a little bit, but Bo Melton, Max Melton's brother.
Yeah.
Laugh at the name now. But he's their 4th wide receiver in Green Bay. But if he was on a lot of other teams, the fans would be going, okay, this is a wide receiver 2 of the future. So with that, I do see it. And maybe this is saying Emmanuel Mosley, he's probably not going to make the active roster. They don't have confidence in him being able to bounce back from that back-to-back ACL injuries, obviously with different knees. But probably, like you said, camp body competition, and they're not confident in Mosley, and you're adding all the wide receiver depth to your point, Jeff.
Well, let's pull up Terrion Arnold put out a tweet, and I'm going to put
here we go. Let's see what he thinks.
Let's see. I'm going to put this up here for everybody. And this is what Terrion thought of the selection. Ennis Rakestraw to the Detroit Lions. He says, Detroit getting ready to be DBU. Let's go.
Oh, I love to hear that. You got competitors now in the build. You know what? You're just bringing competitors and dudes that can compete with each other, help each other, elevate each other's games. So that's why I do like this. As it gets more into it, this feels like last year. Do you guys remember like the Jack Campbell a little bit? Where what's going on? The second round when you're sitting there like getting Sam Laporta over a couple of those tight ends. There's just certain things that you question a little bit right away off the bat. You're like, oh, why do we do that? Now you start to see why. Now you start to know, hey, they're building something here. Something's getting built. They know a little bit as much as he goes BPA. He knows a little bit that we need that corner. This defense needs to get solidified. For the future, looks good, fellas. For the future, it looks good. You have some dudes in this building now, especially in that room. By the way, to the Jets, do you guys want me to announce that one to you guys? Let's get back. I was just posting some stuff on socials for us and getting things rolling. So I'm back. The Jets select with the 65th overall pick. They get a wide receiver. They get a weapon, Malachi Corley.
Oh, there he goes, Jeff.
And do you want to know who announced the pick, fellas? It was Braylon.
Oh, did he?
No
Here we go.
way.
Yeah, it was Braylon.
That's hype. Good for Bray.
Shout out to Bray, man. That's dope.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And he got to do a receiver, too. We like Malachi, too. Good for them. That'll be good. Him and Garrett Wilson will be good over the years together, I think.
Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers was on the McAfee show earlier, and they asked him about like passing on Brock Bowers and stuff, and he said he was confident in the tight ends they had, and that he would kind of prefer to offensive linemen, and that this was like a deeper class for wide receivers.
They like Conk.
Yeah.
No, but I mean Malachi Corley is a guy that can take one of those just slot receivers. He's kind of like Zay Flowers. Who's the other one that I'm blanking on last year? Who's the other slot taking Tank Dell? He's one of those type of guys. He's a little bit thicker in the frame than those two guys, but he does a lot. I think he has better at breaking tackles. He's not as shifty, but it does a lot of the same type of things those guys do.
They're saying Malachi Corley is basically a Deebo Samuel 2.0. That's
I mean, just way smaller.
I'm just reading it.
I don't see that.
Reading it. Your guy over there, Jordan Schultz, Klotzy, the man they call Deebo Samuel 2.0.
I mean, but they were saying that about Xavier Legette, and I can
tell you
Corley and Xavier Legette are not the same receiver.
I know people when you make comparisons.
Not you, Booner.
When people make comparisons, they obviously you're going to compare them to like the best. It's like that's why I hate just the comparisons in general. Like, when you
I think a comparison in general, you just take away what the receiver is. Like obviously you're comparing him to a star receiver. It's about comparing him to like what does he do? Like how does he play on the field? He probably plays like a Deebo to where you can get him in running positions. You can move him around. He's versatile. That's how I take a comparison. I don't take it to where he's going to go out there this year and get 1,500 yards like Deebo Samuel.
No, but will he ever be Deebo? Who knows? I don't know. But they project.
Or even I don't think that they're saying he's going to be Deebo. I think it's the way he plays, just the way he plays.
What are you freaking out about?
I'm trying to get optimistic about Ennis, right? And this is like 5 minutes into it, so this isn't my end all be all narrative. But I'm like, who's some SEC wide receivers that Ennis would have played that he might have to play in the NFL that matter? And I was like, San Francisco 49ers just drafted Ricky Pearsall, played in the SEC. The Missouri played him obviously this year. And the first play that's on this game offensively for the Florida Gators is Ricky Pearsall just dropping Ennis Rakestraw. I was just like, God damn it. I want him to work. I do. It's just one of those things.
Don't you dare put out that propaganda.
I'm being real. I'm not. Hey, if Ennis Rakestraw makes a play here, I've watched the film before, but I'm trying to sometimes if you rewatch things, you can see him a different way. You see things that you didn't see the first time. But yeah, Ricky Pearsall just made this man touch earth.
Yeah, well, Ricky Pearsall, he is. That's how. But that tells you about Ricky.
And the Cardinals here just drafted the running back from Florida State, Trey Benson. So Lucas,
I like him. Yeah, he's one that he could be the best running. Him or Jonathan Brooks, I think, are the best running backs in this draft class because he's good. He's really good out of the backfield catching the ball.
Yeah, so they got a nice little 1-2 punch. James Conner, he's good in the red zone and whatnot, and they get a versatile back. Trey Benson can catch, can run, so it's not a bad pick.
I'm interested, guys, if we end up getting back here into the third round. That's what I'm interested in now. I think I've moved on. I like the pick. I think it's good. Do you guys feel like that Brad's going to make a move and get back in here? There's still a lot of guys on the board here that are some legit dudes that you can go snag that I would think he has higher on his board.
Fellas, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you
off. I'm done there. That's all I'm thinking though. There's some names on the board here.
I mean, possibly. This is I kind of just watching the film here again. What do you think about? There's all these names they have to re-sign. I'm sure they would love to re-sign Iffy. But if you look at Iffy now, obviously Iffy's taller than Ennis Rakestraw, but Iffy played corner in college. I think, like I already said before, Ennis Rakestraw is going to have to play inside. Do you think that they could probably going to try the same process with Rakestraw as they did Iffy as converting into a safety? Like we already talked about it more, but I'm saying specifically behind Iffy or behind Kirby. You know what I mean? Because he's a hard-hitting corner. That normally we talk about is the opposite with Terrion. You normally see defensive back go from corner to safety, but Terrion, if Nick Saban trusts you to be a cornerback one for him, obviously the proof's there. But if you're talking about a guy who was a cornerback one on a very successful team with a Missouri-led defense, it's usually not like that. So he's got to have that integrity. He's a hard-hitting corner. I say try to move him to safety. It'd be smart to at least. I think, in my opinion, that's where this pick pans out fully. If you want to get the full potential out of it.
I don't think it's I think it's a possibility.
Yeah, it would be something that you'd have to it's tough. It's something you have to evaluate come training camp once you see him out there. If he looks great, then you're like, well, kid can play corner, but if he's struggling, we don't know how I don't know what that process looked like for Iffy though.
True, that's a good point too. And it's all different.
Like they might have put him out in training camp and been like, "Oh, yeah, he is safety." I don't think he's a corner.
I just have a hard time finding that because Brad talks about how picky he is with corners, and Rakestraw did struggle in coverage, so that's why I'm trying to see where he's coming from. Maybe this is like a chess move down the road. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to make sense of it.
Honestly, Klotz, it just might just be depth. Like they just loved the guy. He was probably at the top of their board. Again, like Brad has his own board. He was probably just the last guy at the top of the board, and he just was shocked that he fell to him and said, "Let's just get a guy in the building here. Just get him in the building. And if we need to move him to safety, we can do." They've moved guys around. We've seen that. Just get a guy in the building and let him play. And that's the only thing I can think of is the reason why they took him is just they felt like he has a really good upside and he has the talent to do so. So that's where I do think that they're bringing him in the building. It's, hey, come in and compete. If it's remember CJ Gardner-Johnson, they had to move him. If they have to move Ennis Rakestraw to get him in because he's playing that well, move him to safety. Especially if you get an injury in that secondary. We don't have any backups right now. Tracy Walker's gone. You don't have that, you don't have the safety room that you had last year with the depth. Now you have that.
What do you think, Judge?
No, I just wanted to bring something up. I was kind of looking at the draft that whole time. There was another guard taken. I'm trying to pull it up, and my phone's not loading. Brandon Coleman from TCU went to Washington, and they picked him over Christian Haynes and Cooper Beebe. So they didn't go the best two guards available, and Washington kind of got some extra help for Jaden Daniels there. But the guy that we wanted for the Lions still there. So
he's versatile.
Can I break the next news here real quick? Because we can actually talk about this for a second. And I know we're way behind. We're going to be way ahead on the broadcast here. So if you guys don't want to hear the Chargers pick, mute us just for the time being. But this is interesting, fellas. The conversation was probably in the third round for the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh to go after Blake Corum. They just drafted linebacker Junior Colson out of Michigan. So the whole thing with Blake Corum going to Michigan, Jim Harbaugh still went his former player, but they went linebacker and they just boosted up that defense a little bit. They went and got a guy on the opposite side of the ball. Yeah,
it's a good pick.
So that's just interesting.
I'm surprised they didn't go receiver.
They went first round or second round.
I know, but I thought they'd double up. Like I just thought. I guess when you're looking at the board, yeah, you really wouldn't with the receivers there. So yeah, you're right. Especially with Corley going.
It's an interesting one.
What I say a week ago, we did a little fun stuff with the over-unders. I said like over-under 3.5 Michigan players. So he's got one now.
He's got one. 2 more to go. Blake's still on the board too.
Yeah.
I think that's a great pick for them too, because that was one of the sleepers of Junior Colson to go early second and maybe to slip in as the first linebacker off the board. And he falls all the way down to, what is it, pick 69.
Mm-hmm.
So he fell a lot, and they were able to grab him. That's
Matt Miller. Matt Miller had his pro comp as Nick Bolton.
I like Nick Bolton. I like Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton's a very good linebacker.
Yeah.
Dude, guys, I'm just telling you, Ricky Pearsall is going to be a fucking problem in the NFL. Like, I'm just watching this.
I agree with you. I agree.
Like, he just like, we all know how good Missouri's defense is, and they just Florida's way to stay into the game outside of giving it to ETN was just find a way to get Ricky Pearsall the ball. And he took a drag 60 yards of the house, and then they just did an end around to him, and he's dropping guys left and right in the SEC. And he's going to the San Francisco 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. He's going to be, I think, sleeper. I don't think he's going to win it, but to get a good little bang for your buck for a Rookie of the Year candidate, definitely. Like, I think it'd go Caleb, probably Marv, and then like Ricky Pearsall, especially the situation in a couple of years, could be one of the top 5 wide receivers in this draft.
I know, and I don't know this for a fact, but I also would assume that Ocho knows who Ricky Pearsall is, being a Florida guy. Mm-hmm.
They trained together. He was training with Jalen Waddle, and I'm trying to think, it might have been
if you got feet like that. If you got feet like that, Ocho knows who you are. That man can run routes. It's an art form. So yeah, he's really good. Yeah, he is.
Like, honestly,
Weezy D said, "Damn you, Klotz, just made me watch that weak ass Missouri game. Just see that slant from Ricky Pearsall. He got locked up the rest of the game."
Yeah, you got to keep going. We're at different parts of the game right now. I can promise you, no. And you can just watch how he sees the field and like sets up defenders and manipulates them. That man, oof.
Yeah, he
had Grant Mertz throwing him the ball, and Anthony Richardson. Like, I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback, but as far as in college, he put up much production. So Ricky Pearsall is balling with average quarterback play, honestly.
Boone?
Yeah, I'm sorry, boys. I'm over here. I'm over here working real quick. I apologize, boys.
I thought you got something like a Booner bomb or something. You maybe got some.
No. Damn. I'm just over here. I'm thinking over here, fellas. I'm just interested in this pick, to be honest. And by the way, Andrew Phillips. I'm never mind. I shouldn't have said that. I'm just over here. I'm sorry. My brain's moving 100 miles per hour right now. If you guys don't know. I'm over here. I'm typing up. I'm getting things ready. I'm trying to figure out things. I'm trying to get in the brain of Brad Holmes here to see if he moves up. I would love to see a trade. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at just sitting here. I would love to, in the next hour before this round ends, to see if we can get back in to get another player here. And I don't think it's because the Ennis Rakestraw. I just think there's players left on this board, guys. If we look at best available and the way Brad works, like last year, what was it? 3 trades in the second round last year, fellas? Was it that?
Mm-hmm.
And now you just still have dudes left on this board, and like I wouldn't hate for them just to make a move and go get someone. So I'm just interested to see that Christian Haynes is still available, guard out of UConn. Adisa Isaac's available. Cooper Beebe is available. Jonah Ellis is available. Brendan Rice is available. There's a lot of guys. Roman Wilson. Christian Jones out of Texas. There's a lot of dudes that are still available here before the third round ends, to where if you really love someone, go ahead and get them. Go do it. Go do it. I don't want to wait 100 picks for it.
Well, Saga, we got some super chats I want to get to. Then I'll Oh, here we go. Your Mohamed Kamara narrative. Saga, thank you for the $2. Lee goes offense. We go defense. Full stop. That's actually true, too. Chad Fletcher, thank you for the $5 as well. He says, Brad, going to mess around and trade next year's first to get into in the third round and get another cornerback. Trade next year's first. But the rest of it, Brad cooking some burnt-ass chicken, baby. Oh, geez. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that, Chad. You're firing up the people. You're firing up the people.
Oh, is he saying like Brad's not cooking right now?
Well, yeah, he said he'll. Yeah, I think he's joking. Trade a first, like to get into the third. What are we doing? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? He said he's cooking some burnt ass chicken. Well, you know what? I disagree. And I want to pull up this tweet by Chris Sims because he put this out, and it kind of goes to what you were talking about with the safety stuff. And here's Chris Sims. He says, let's bite kneecaps. The Lions got CJ Gardner-Johnson part 2. That was my draft comparison. Great, quick and change of direction skills. Fucking fearless tackler, a Lion.
All right. Chris Sims has obviously gotten the booze tonight. But I mean, if that's kind of going back to the conversation we just had, if he's CJ Gardner-Johnson, then he's probably going to be moved to safety or something similar to that, more so in the box and out on the perimeter. So if that's the case, then I do like the pick. I just was worried about him being like a cover guy, and I just don't think he has that in him as of right now.
Yeah.
Like if you put him on like Hawkinson or something like that, I think that's a good matchup. You know what I mean? Because I don't think he'd have problems if Hawk catches the ball, which is inevitable sometimes with just how plays are drawn up. Then I would have confidence that Rakestraw could tackle him compared to if he was having to cover Justin Jefferson. I think he would have a lot easier time giving that up. So I think
he compared him to CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. That's Klotzy. You said that's the move him around, kind of put him in different spots.
Mm-hmm. I'm all for that.
He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I just looking at our corner room right now. It's actually, say Emmanuel Moseley does come back from injury. You have Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Amik Robertson, Ennis Rakestraw Jr., and Emmanuel Moseley. Say Emmanuel comes back as well, and he's not what he was before off injury, but he's a little bit like you have 5 corners there now. Like that depth that we were talking about, if a guy goes down, you have that. And obviously we don't know what Ennis Rakestraw is going to be. We know what Terrion Arnold could be. Ennis Rakestraw is the one. Guys, we remember how mad we would get when we would see Ennis Rakestraw go in the first round, but he consistently was getting drafted in mock drafts in the first round and very, very early second rounds. That's like value wise. That is value. Getting him at 61 was BPA to the max. And now you have a corner room to where Klotzy, to your point, like if you need to move a guy to safety, if you need to put him in a now you have the ability. AG, this is the conversation that goes back to AG has no excuses now going forward.
Yeah.
Now he has a defense. He has the players. He has everything, especially in that secondary. He's a secondary guy. Now he has everything. He has all of the corners. He has the safeties. He can move guys around. He has everything now to be successful in that defense. The only thing what we can argue now is, and we still may get it tomorrow or later tonight, is a defensive end and add a couple pieces of that defensive line, and then we're off and running here. But Aaron Glenn has what it takes. He has everything now. There's no more. Does Aaron Glenn have the pieces to do it? Is it, does he have the guys? Did they get him the right? He has the guys now. Now you go from the 23rd defense, you move that thing up to the 10th defense. I'm not saying Ennis Rakestraw is the one that does it, but you got Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw and Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson and potentially Emmanuel Moseley. You have it now. Brad knew. I think Brad knew what he was doing here. He really did. And he's going to look back at this, and it's going to be one of those things in 6, 7, 8 months. We're going to look back and be like, okay, Brad did his thing. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, this seems like a comment. I mean, last year, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell, I mean, no one really liked those picks. They're good players. Obviously, Ennis Rakestraw checks a lot of boxes for Brad. Not just the player, but really the vision they have for Ennis. They clearly have a plan with him and how to utilize him. So I don't know what Ennis. I don't think Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw solve all your problems defensively, but they certainly help that secondary. It is so egregious. I mean, you had Kendall Vildor starting at corner in the NFC Championship game. Like, what are we doing? And now you got a whole new look secondary that you're much more confident in. So, whether you like the player or not, you can certainly understand it. Like, I'm in support of it. You get to, again, the value. I mean, 2 guys, your first 2 picks, 2 guys that should have been first-round picks probably.
Yeah.
So, hey, Matthew Evans, thank you for the $5. Says the secondary stay healthy, be able to trade some of them veterans on expiring deals later or at trade deadline.
Or you don't have to pay them.
Or at trade deadline.
You don't have to trade them. You're probably not going to trade them because you need them at the trade deadline. You're going to need some of these guys because you're not going to be a team that's selling. You're going to be a buying team. But at the end of the day, you don't have if these guys, if Terrion Arnold becomes a CB1 and Ennis Rakestraw can be that second guy, or Meek Robertson can, now you don't have to sit there and pay Carlton Davis a ton of money. So I don't know. I still think that they can do that.
So this comment, Chad says, you guys are talking like you aren't unhappy with the pick, but your energy is saying something different. If I'm being real, no, if I'm being honest, I'm running on fumes. So
Yeah,
listen,
I don't think it's that we just hate the pick. It's good. It's not. They didn't trade up and go get like the best. They got a dude. Yeah, they got a guy that's going to help this team win football games potentially. Here's the Kool-Aid, baby. If you wanted some Kool-Aid. There you go. Ennis Rakestraw, this one's for you, baby. Cheers.
There you go, Boone.
Clip that and put it on Twitter.
Booner disoriented, bro. We've all just been like dead. We're all just on like 5% battery at this point.
No excuses, though, boys. Is Brad Holmes want excuses?
No.
Lock in. Let's go. Keep this train moving. We got 322 people watching us right now. Let's lock in, boys.
Hey, Panthers on the clock.
Here we go, boys. I need to start breaking news. Do I need to start breaking news again? I need to start breaking news again. I'm gonna start commentating the draft again here, boys. Let's lock in. Who's up right now? The Arizona Cardinals. Jeff, give me the ding.
Well, the Cardinals already picked.
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay. We'll wait.
So
Panthers are on the clock.
Yep.
All right, I got this. We'll start back up here. We're rolling. We're off and rolling. I want to know, can I ask a question for the chat here? I want to know. We can read some of these off. I want to ask you guys, what would you guys want Brad Holmes to do? Do you guys want him to kind of just stay put, wait the 100 picks, make a pick, or do you guys want him to move up, and go get one of these guys if there's a player that you guys still like on the board? Where are you guys at here with this third round here as we finish up in the next? I think we still have like 20 picks.
Ryan Lentz, real quick. Noah, who is our good friend as well. Shout out to Ryan.
Shout
Lentz.
out to boys.
Noah
man.
loved Rakestraw for months. He wanted me to tell you. Well, Noah, Brad Holmes guy. Noah. Yeah, good job, Noah. He's a Brad Holmes guy. That's all. That's what we know now. But Boone, to answer the question, depends. I mean, if you want to trade, they don't have a 4th round pick, so I would prefer that, trading into the 4th round, or maybe even trading up and getting Adisa Isaac, like Steve Lehman said. I think that'd be a good option. Offensive line is still something I think the Lions should invest in at some point this draft. Maybe it's Zach Zinner late. At some point, take an offensive lineman. But I think if you're going to trade up, it'll be in the 4th round. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with Jeff.
Do we have some people in the chat here that have talked about their stay put? Not that I want, though.
I just think when you look at the assets you'd be willing to give up, though, Boone, like when you look at the picks next year, like I think you're going to get a 4th round compared to like what we're almost done with the 3rd round now, like halfway through. At that point, if he doesn't make something happen here soon, I think it's just more likely it's in the 4th.
Here I got the pick here for the Carolina Panthers. Jeff, if you want to give me the ring, with the 72nd overall pick, the Carolina Panthers will be selecting Kentucky linebacker Wallace.
Okay.
All right, Mohamed Kamara's still there, boys. Though we'll say that.
Hey, Austin Booker,
very fine player out of the state of Colorado.
Austin Booker as well. Couple edges. All right.
I wonder, is Cam Kitchen still there?
He is. But that is that's a safety. No, that's a safety.
That's like fucking DB overload on this draft. This offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a no-fly zone. Like if we're
happy though.
That's a no-fly zone. I mean, I love Cam Kitchens, dude. You got me on Cam Kitchens. Pause, but you got me invested. You got me invested.
Wait, so Peyton Wilson's still there for linebackers, and you said they just took another one?
Kind of crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Christian Haynes. I'm not sold on Christian Haynes. Wouldn't be upset with it, though, just because of the spot there with the draft.
Yeah.
Dominic Puny, the tackle from Kansas. Yep. There was a lot of noise about him.
Yep. Or the other side of the ball, like I said, you got Austin, but there's some trenches. Some
you know who I actually Dwayne Carter out of Duke. I actually really like him. He's like a player that plays angry. He's a defensive tackle. If he's still there somehow, that'd be a great pick.
Mm-hmm. You got to think now. It's not about what positions you have or who you drafted. It's just best player. That's how I guess that's how Brad thinks. I wonder. I mean, there's some good players. I think Adisa Isaac certainly is one of the best players I think available.
Okay.
One of your favorites, Jonah Ellis, Jeff?
No.
Okay, I've got an exciting pick here actually with Dallas fellas. An exciting pick. Carolina, let Carolina say theirs here, and then I'll give it to you. I'll throw it out there. But Dallas just took a great pick. Oh, picks are starting to speed up really fast, guys. Here, I've already got the Falcons pick. Do you guys want me to go now, Cowboys?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but with the 2024 with the 73rd pick in the 2024 NFL draft, Dallas Cowboys are selecting guard Cooper Beebe.
He's off the board, though.
That's a good pick for them.
Great pick for them. Yeah, I like that.
Gets to learn under the tutelage of Zach Martin.
Be able to develop into a fine offensive. Well, they took
a very fine player.
Tyler Smith out of Tulsa last year. He's a guard too, or is he a tackle?
No, he's a guard. He was a tackle. They pushed him into guard.
I have an idea.
They're keeping that $60 million contract healthy with Dak.
Yeah, I have an idea. The Detroit Lions right now. Brad Holmes is at the podium. I don't know if we want to watch it together here with the people, but Brad Holmes is at the podium right now, which means he's probably not doing a trade. He's probably done for the night, but he is at the podium at the moment.
What if he's just making a pick?
So if you guys want to watch it here while we finish the draft here, I mean, it's up to you guys. I just want to throw that out there. I just got the alert saying that he is live at the podium. Don't want people to
watch that for
we can. I mean, if you just share your screen, Jeff, and we could just watch it all here together. We play the clips all the time. I wouldn't see why it would be an issue. I could be wrong. Let's have this be a team decision here. I don't want to take the.
All right. You know what? Fuck it.
Okay, let's go.
So everyone that's staying here with us, you don't have to leave to watch Brad Holmes. We're watching them together, and I'll keep you guys updated with picks here.
Really the first night, but when he was still there starting today, I didn't think he was going to last that long. We actually were trying to get up and but we were just so far down. A lot of people don't want to really trade that far down, so we just kind of just stayed pat, and we were just thrilled that he landed there. He had some medical stuff he had to go through last season. So, and then he battled it kind of throughout the spring process as well. So I think that kind of set him back a little bit too. But just thrilled how it panned out. Questions?
That's an incredible amount of attention you paid to one position group this offseason. What do you think that competition is going to look like come training camp?
Yeah, I mean it's a bloodbath in there now.
Braylon tries to,
and that's what makes everything better. That's what makes the room better, makes the defense better, makes the team better. Competition just brings the best out of everybody. So, look, it's something that we didn't go into it saying that we were gonna get 2 corners, in the first 2 rounds. We really didn't. It's just he was the best. He was the highest graded guy, for us at the time. So we went ahead and you know how we roll. We went ahead and got him. But those were also our top 2 ranked corners as well, and it's
Wow,
all things considered process, not just stats and highlights.
Top 2 ranked corners.
It's a lot
crazy.
of things involved in those rankings, but we're just thrilled because
wow, hold that.
Gives me a little bit more confidence.
They're both gritty, physical, challenge mentality guys. They can press. I know I talked about Terrion a lot yesterday, but sticking on Enos, a guy that saw him on film first and thought he was going to be a lot smaller, and he was thinner the year before. But when I saw him at the LSU game, Mizzou LSU game, his frame looked good, and he looked like a guy that can play outside and survive. And then you see how he is in the run game and how he get up and face some really good receivers in the SEC. So, but yeah, just throw it how it felt through.
Was he that much higher than like the next player on your board that you felt?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of guys that we had that highly ranked. It was really just a couple of guys that we had up there where that's like, they would have been possible considerations at 29. So it was a couple of those guys. So we were trying to get one of them. One of them went, and then Enos was still there, so we went ahead and got him. So again, we don't really care the position. It's just we just take the best player. It just happens that it just fed up. And look, it's something that we've always been trying to find that future at that position, and it never really matched up. It never really lined up. We were never really, we weren't in a position to get one, or we just had a better player, at another position ranked over that, another corner. So it's not anything that we've been ignoring or anything. It just really hadn't been lined up, and we're not going to reach for a corner just to get a corner either. So, yeah, super ecstatic that we finally got some future in youth at that position.
A little unique that those guys were on the same visit together. Yeah, just what did you like about them? Maybe off the field, their mentality, their football IQ. What was it that stood out about those 2 guys when you got a chance to sit down and talk to them together?
Yeah. So, first of all, going to Terrion, I talked about just the personality and, just big energy, big personality, very, very confident. Enos is actually different. You feel the confidence, and, me and Dan sitting there talking to him, I just kind of felt dog exuding out of him, just a lot more quiet, just kind of to the point, to the business, not, as loud and, vocal and, vivid personality like Terrion was. And again, that's how all of these kids are. It's actually a really fun process where all of them are just ask them a lot of the same question. You get these different answers, and they're all different personalities. But Terrion and Enos, both of them, you really felt like, okay, these guys fit who we're about. These guys fit our culture. But it was something about Enos, just the competitiveness, the drive, how he talked about his story, how he talks about his process, how he talks about just the details of ever since he came out of high school out in Texas, and just the whole recruiting process. And then when he got to Missouri, and his whole thing about, these receivers that he's been against in the past, with going against Pickens, and he just all these things that I was like, man, this guy's about one of the more competitive kids, just talking with them. So, it's not only that I felt a competitive dog out of him, but, he was speaking it too, and his tape shows the same thing. Huh? No, it would probably have been a good little tournament though.
You've added in Carlton and Meek as well. Is there something in the self-scout process between you and you identified a skill set you
was just trying to do?
Yeah, and me and AG have had conversations about that, and again, you're really open, transparent conversations about
what an audio, bro.
The process has been about kind of really solidifying that.
Bro's got a 2-man after this.
But
no,
I know exactly what
He's going right to legends after this.
Lock in, boys.
Often when I was in LA with the Rams and playing against when Dan and AG
lock in. You guys get slap happy. Lock in.
Suffocating defenses.
I know you guys too well.
We went against. Everything just felt very tight and suffocating and sticky, and it was just a lot of just. It was hard to find separation. So. Going against that kind of defense, I had a really good feel of what Dan and AG kind of wanted that defense to be like, and that's what we've been striving for. Look, we had a lot of work to do on defense. Like I told you guys back in maybe the around owners meetings, there was maybe a little bit less work to do with some of the offensive linemen that we had in place when we got here, but defense was a complete start over basically, and so we just had kind of been doing it brick by brick, but again, we're not going to reach on the position. We're not going to
the Bears just took that tackle from Yale
just because he plays corner. No, it's got to be the right football player, and so it just so happened that this year Terrion was the right football player. Enos was the right football player. They just happened to play the corner position.
Depth chart thing and right draft review or whatever, but you ever I don't know, question like, can we double up? I mean, you doubled up on positions in the past, but like, then we do need some receiver. We do need whatever else it may be. Like, can we really afford to do that? I don't know. You're in a good spot, but does that ever cross your mind? You ever have to wrestle with like that thought? Like,
no, I really don't. I mean, you look at it and you don't probably wouldn't draft 7 corners. You would probably want to do that, but the board probably wouldn't be shaped like that. At some point, there's going to be another player, another position, that's probably retired. But eventually, it probably hits a maximum. But but we were kind of lacking some youth, especially on the outside there, and so that's why it lined up. But yeah, again, we just it's hard for us. It's hard for me and Dan. It's hard for our staff to have a guy that's a really good football player that fits for us and say, oh no, we already took that position. Let's get this other player that he's not as good as this player at the same position. Let's get another player at another position that's not as good because he plays another position, or a player that we're not that fired up about, but he plays another position because we just drafted that same it's hard to sleep at night to do that. So that's how we've operated so far to this point, and that's what we'll keep doing.
You have so many guys who have so many different stories of how they get here.
Jonah Ellis just went
told us earlier
to the Broncos.
He had that light bulb moment when he got benched.
Good pick for them. He's going to be on the Jeff Iafrate revenge tour in 2024.
Whenever you have guys that face that kind of adversity on the field, how does that factor into your evaluation process?
That's huge, and that's something that really is very important to us when we're talking to these prospects about, like
Tony Sheffer
telling us about adverse moments, and all the the way they answer that question. Some of it is football related, some of it is life related, but I think that's a very important, it's a very critical factor that plays in the success of a lot of these players, because
this audio is so bad.
You can have a lot of success in college, but it's hard up here. The competition is different. The grind, all the standards set on them. It's hard.
All right, we'll end it there because that audio is hard to listen to. It's just like making everything worse. He obviously, what Brad said there though,
said a lot.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But I'll just say one thing. It's reassuring to have him say that Ennis Rakestraw was number 2 on his board as far as corners go, and there was a lot of good corners in the upper half of this draft. Guys like Quinyon Mitchell, to even hear that he's above him. I mean, it's a reassuring, and I trust Brad. I mean, obviously we had our differences on what we would have done, but I mean, doubling up on the position of need as big as corner is, I love it. And that statement, all of that was so more reassuring.
The biggest thing out of that too, he said that was his number 1. Brad, again, it goes back. Brad always has a different big board than everyone else, and he's talked about that a lot. Like last year when he said Sam Laporta was one of a top 10 on his big board. Same with Jack Campbell and Brian Branch. Those were all guys that were top 10 on their big board, and he got them all. He got his number 1 corner, which is a need, and number 2 corner, which is a need. He got both of the guys that he wanted, and the fact that he fell to 61, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I like being able to know that Brad, his philosophy is saying that we're not just going to reach for a position. He's like, if we would have not took at Enos, I guess it is. It's not Ennis. I guess it's Enos. So Rakestraw Jr. I guess that he was pretty high up on his board, and the fact that he wouldn't be able to sleep at night if he didn't take a player like that, it does help me feel better about the pick. But it does sound like he wants him to stay out on the outside and not kind of what we were talking about before as far as moving more of like a safety hybrid, like a nickelback type of deal. Still could be the case. But.
Well, he reassured me. I mean, I was already fine with the pick, but hearing his perspective on it, how confident he is. When Brad Holmes is confident in a player, you can't help but also be like, okay, I get his line of thinking. And typically, if he does love a player and he goes and gets him, it typically works out. And we haven't seen him draft too many DBs, so we can't even really use the the Levi thing or anything. Like, this is different. It's a DB.
I'm still nervous as fuck about the defensive end situation, though.
I think they're going to get someone tomorrow. I think they're just going to get some dudes tomorrow. There's going to be a couple guys that fall.
I don't honestly, the edges right now are just, I think the class wasn't even deep. Like I was saying that for a while. I mean, if you don't get one in the first, I don't like any of these guys. Truly. I mean,
I don't like having Marcus Davenport out there. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
When do we pick tomorrow?
I'm nervous. What's up, Boone?
We don't even have a 4th round pick.
No.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we might not. This is disaster.
He's about to say this is a disaster, boy. It's not a disaster, Boone, because the Lions, they're not in the same position they have been in years prior. They don't need an overwhelming amount of picks at this point. They just need a couple of guys to kind of fill in the leaks in the roof, to Jeff's point, get some insulation. But I would argue, Jeff,
just a few
doubling up on corner, it's not a flat screen. That's a coffee table pick.
You're going to have to break that one down for us, Klotz. I don't understand what that means.
So Jeff always talks about the flat screen TV pick, about how if you were to take a wide receiver in round 1, it's like leaking through the roof. It's like, but you're going to buy a flat screen, even though your roof's leaking. Well, I think at this point, and I'm not mad at it, but I think going back to what we were talking about, Brad, he fixed the hole in the roof, and then there's another one at the defensive end spot, apparently, or the interior offensive line to get depth there. And he's like, no, we'll just go up and we'll get a coffee table, because I don't think and Enos Rakestraw is a full-on flat screen because Jahmyr Gibbs is a flat screen. But I don't think it was a need by any means.
Shout out Enos.
Hey, well, there you have it.
Enos.
Yeah, you know what? He's certain. You know what? Getting corners, dressing that position, and getting some good players. You're patching up the roof. All right, maybe no house is perfect. There's still some other things, but it's a pretty nice house. You know what? We can relax on the recliner. We don't have to worry about rain leaking in. I don't think at this point. All right, we'll see. Still a whole lot of. We got some picks left, so and we'll wait. And honestly, there's still a trade deadline, which I do believe is something that would probably be prioritized. Early prediction here, given we don't know which could factor into that. But
I think tomorrow you're going to leave with an edge rusher. I still think an edge rusher and a wide receiver tomorrow is going to be a thing. Whether it's guys that we don't have high on our boards, I think it's still going to be an opportunity. They're going to go get some guys. There's still a lot of picks left for the Detroit Lions to go get someone.
I think the next 2 picks will be offensive lineman, wide receiver.
I'll tell you what. We'll get let's do a little breakdown of Ennis Rakestraw. I want to put it up on our channel for the people, for people that maybe are sleeping or busy and they want to watch some content. What do you guys? Are you staying live, Boone?
I don't think we are.
No, I'm asking you. You can do whatever you want if you want to.
No, I don't want to stay live by myself on here. It would be a weird stream. Things would get weird.
All right.
I would love to stay live for the people. I would love to stay live and talk to the people. I just don't know if the people would
You can
want
talk
that.
to the people.
I don't know what I'll talk about. There's a lot of picks left. I don't know what I'll talk about by myself. I would
You
love
can talk
to stay live.
that voice inside of your head that we were talking about, Booner.
Oh, that's inside of my head. I'd be sitting here in silence for the people.
No, Booner, you talk aloud to yourself all the time.
You're so funny.
Well, tomorrow we'll be live again.
Yes, we will.
I don't know if we will.
Why?
I don't know.
What? Are you okay?
He said we're ending the stream.
Why is it on a single cam? We're all talking here. Let's go back to the 4 cam. I don't know who's controlling this.
No, we will be live tomorrow. Why do we keep going back to the Boone? Okay.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Let's
we
lock
will,
in.
We will be live
Come on.
tomorrow for day 3. So please tune in for that. If you're going to be chilling, tune in, hang out with us. We'll be breaking down that as well. That'll be it for today. A lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, subscribe. We're only like 40 away from 6,000. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Until tomorrow.
Love you guys. 11:45 tomorrow. We'll see
I don't know
you in
why
the
it's
morning.
on just me now. Jeff.
See you in the morning, 11:45.
Jeff, Booner,
bright and early.
Lucas, Mike. Shout out to Roman, by the way. Roman cooked up the Ennis Rakestraw.
Booner pass, baby.
Enos Rakestraw draft pick for us. So shout out to Roman. He's the GOAT. Follow him on Twitter, Vibe Graphics, and all social media. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Until then.
Love the people. I love you guys.
Deuces.